Is about to begin.
Presented by BYOB Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A Fiasco. What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-hosts, John Luke Garofalo and Andrew Cooper. How's it going, boys?
What up?
It's going great.
Wild card weekend is done. The game last night, the Cowboys beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, means our divisional round matchups are set. And now it's time to get ready for that next round of the playoffs. And they saved the least exciting game for last night. But that's okay. After all of the excitement we had all weekend, I'm fine with that. It's kind of nice just to relax and know what was going to happen.
Least exciting. What are you talking about, dude? I was on the edge of my seat wondering if Brett Maher was going to continue missing extra points or not. Probably the most excited I've been in a while.
Yeah, were you watching Reddit during the game last night with the extra points? They were keeping track of it, and then the number one post on Reddit when he finally made one was Brett Maher nails the extra point. And that was the only time I think a made extra point has been the top post on the NFL Reddit.
Yeah, that's going to be the top post of the week when all is said and done. No question. Maybe even the month. Just ridiculous.
You missed the first one and you're like, okay, those pregame jitters, it's all good. It happens. Yeah. And then the next one. And then the next one.
It was
the next one.
Yeah, I was able to really figure out my level of how much I care about extra points yesterday. At 3, I started to care. And at 4, I started to get real excited.
3 is the limit, though. 2, you're just like, oh, he sucks.
2 is whatever. 3, I'm like, hey. 3, I'm telling the wife. I'm like, this dude.
You got to get in here.
Exactly.
We got some people in the chat ready for today's show. Maria over here with the sunshine. Good morning, Maria. And Craig said, good morning, fellas. Looks like the Brady Bunch is ready to go. Oh, to be canceled.
What up, Craig?
Ready to be canceled, not ready to go. Maybe.
Ready to go to be canceled.
Is today the day?
Today's the day. See if we can make it happen. We got Tommy in here.
Yes, I was going to say yesterday, speaking of big days, yesterday my wife put up blinds in the room where I get changed every morning. So
no way.
No more free wean for the neighbors. I imagine they're over there. They're like, dang it.
Now we got to pay for it.
Now we got to pay.
You're going to get a knock on your door today. Excuse me, your blinds are really disturbing our morning routine.
There's been a new study.
Your blinds are distracting.
There's been a new study recently regarding light on the ween. That
First thing in the morning.
We're going to need to fix this. We're going to need to come in and set you up with a new setup here.
We care about you.
We're
friendly neighbors.
Yeah, no more me being extra friendly to my neighbors, unfortunately. Sorry, gang.
They're also like, unrelated. Would you want to go 50-50 on a telescope that stays at my house?
You come over to use it.
Yeah, but not in the morning. Only at night. We got Tommy in the chat as well with a rhyme for us. He says the stage is set. 8 teams remain in a quest for glory to win the big game. Jags versus Chiefs, Bengals versus Bills, Cowboys versus Niners. I got the chills. But let's not forget, last but not least, the epic showdown of the NFC East. Giants versus Eagles in a nasty fight. Who will move on? Who will turn out the light? We don't have all the answers, but we are sure to have fun. Now let's kick off this episode 101. Show 101, baby. We passed that 100 mark. Now we're warmed up after 100
Feels like
episodes.
They're getting longer. Like eventually Tommy's going to be coming in here with an entire children's story every single time.
And it'll be the entire show. That'd be
we were 3 hours. Simon just keeps reading. He can't stop.
It would be like the Epic of Gilgamesh, but written by Tommy. Just right at the beginning. This long story.
I know what that is.
I'm down for it.
For sure.
Jail's Mon here saying good morning and happy 101.
Good morning, Ma.
This is our Dalmatian show.
The 101.
And tomorrow, the sequel to our Dalmatians show, because
102.
there's 102 Dalmatians as well.
Is there?
Tommy said
That was a banger.
free ween, new shirt. Yo, let's get a shirt with blinds on it, but the blinds are open and there's a ween underneath. It says free ween.
That'll be a big seller.
Oh yeah.
Also, Tommy wants to know, who is Cruella if this is a 101 Dalmatians show.
Probably me,
Craig.
right? Craig would be Cruella, yeah.
I was terrified of Cruella DeVille as a child. Like a reoccurring nightmare I had as a kid was after I saw 101 Dalmatians for the first time, about Cruella DeVille trying to like take me and use my skin for a jacket, and it was freaked me out, man. It wasn't until the new Cruella DeVille with Emma Stone that I became less scared of Cruella DeVille.
I haven't seen the new one. Is it good?
It's pretty good. It humanizes
You
her.
didn't seem so convinced there.
I don't want to act like it's a cinematic masterpiece. It's fun and enjoyable, but
I don't think we'd believe you if you did.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like this.
You're trying to avoid the ridicule. I understand.
I like this Cruella. I can see why you weren't scared of her.
I'm not wildly recommending it, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like it's a fun watch. Throw it on in the background. Tommy said, Simon, have you ever watched Silence of the Lambs? Believe it or not, I have not. I have not seen Silence of the Lambs.
Dude, I got a movie that you guys gotta see.
You know what?
I think of all people, you two would appreciate it big time.
What's that?
It's an Indian movie called RRR that
I've
came out
seen
this
it.
year. You did watch it?
No, I haven't seen the movie, but I know exactly
Oh
what you're
my
talking
God,
about. I've
it
seen
is.
the trailer.
It is so much fun. It's 3 hours. So, dude, here's the crazy thing. 3 hours. My wife watches this whole one all the way through till like midnight. It was that exciting. I swear. And she even said that. I was like, "Why aren't you asleep?" She was like, "This is too riveting." It is crazy. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but it is awesome. So that's your assignment. Put it ahead of The Godfather, Simon.
Okay. Triple R, ahead of The Godfather. You know what? That seems more up my alley anyways.
Yeah.
We got Craig in here saying, come on, I don't kidnap and kill dogs. We know that, Craig.
Do we?
Just Grimace controlling you to do it is the reason why it
It's not
happens.
your
It's
fault,
Grimace.
Greg. It's not what we're saying. We're saying it's Grimace's fault.
We know what Grimace can do. Guys, it's that time of morning. I hope everyone in the chat brought something to eat, brought a nice little snack, because we got everything else. We got the stories. We got the topics. You just got to bring we got the beans, but you got to bring your own breakfast. John Luke, you bring a nice, juicy, tasty piece of breakfast for me this morning.
Oh, I just ate my Nature Valley peanut butter biscuit.
Peanut butter biscuit. What are you, British?
Let me see that. Let me see that a
How'd you
little
know?
closer.
Breakfast biscuit.
How'd you know? 5%.
I didn't know Nature Valley made anything other than those like rock hard bricks of oats that just crumble and get everywhere.
Oh, those are so good.
They taste good, but
Yes, they're very inconvenient, but they taste delicious.
So this
The
is
most
not
inconvenient bar on earth. Not only are they so like crumbly and get everywhere, but there's nothing stealth about it either. Like everyone within 10 feet of you knows you're eating it because it's like
and because it's like hitting them in the eye.
you're getting hit with shrapnel as you eat it.
Stop.
And they don't need to put two in there. One
There's no reason to pack
like the
two in
first
there.
one is good and the second one is a chore. Right? Like,
And there's no way to eat them together, because the only clean way to try and eat that thing is to keep it in the wrapper. But then you got to eat both layers.
yeah, they're actually not good. Once you boil down the effort that goes into it. But so you have something made by Nature Valley that's not one of those things? Because I didn't even know they made other things.
Yeah, no, they're a full company. They make stuff. Other than that,
Who would have guessed?
yeah, Maria has the coconut version. It's all right.
These biscuits look. Oh.
What about you, Simon?
Have I ever seen those biscuits? Is that what
Have
you're
you ever
asking
had
me?
what do you have for breakfast?
I got nothing in front of me right now. It's a little bit too early, but I'm going to have a peanut butter bagel and a big old glass of water that I forgot in the other room. I guess if I get too hungry, I always have backup breakfast on the table. I held it up yesterday, but I got some hot fries on the table if I need something in a pinch.
Nutritious breakfast.
Yeah, if I need something, there's vegetables in there probably somewhere, like a hint of a vegetable. That's a nice thing to have for breakfast.
Have some hot fries and a Bud Light.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's been a Bud Light in my house since I've moved in here.
No,
it's sacrilege to Coop.
His favorite beer.
I haven't had a Bud Light yet this year. Oh, actually, I did go to the Patriots game on the 1st of this year, so I haven't had a Bud Light since the 2nd of this year.
If the new year starts on the 2nd, then I haven't had a Bud Light yet in 2023.
Checkmate.
The new year started on the 2nd for me. I had a good breakfast, dude. I had a peanut butter English muffin with a banana, and I had a gigantic glass of chocolate milk, which I chugged, and also a cappuccino.
A cappuccino.
Cappuccino. And
this
a couple
early in the morning,
multivitamins.
Cappuccino?
Yeah. Get fired up, dude.
Man, you're up early enough to make a cappuccino. That's impressive, my friend.
Well, that's why I was 20 minutes late to the meeting. I logged in the meeting first, and then I was like, I'll just make. In my defense, none of you guys were at the meeting. Not to kind of pull back the curtains on how the show goes, but we do a meeting before the show. None of you guys were here, so I was like, I'm just gonna blow off the meeting and make a cappuccino.
Seems like a likely story, Coop.
It's true, every part of it, especially the part where I made the cappuccino instead of being at the meeting. I think you guys know that part.
We'll see if I can buy it. Guys, I saw a statistic yesterday. It was a tweet that came out from. Sorry, excuse me. The tweet that came out yesterday talking about Josh Allen's season so far, and it said Josh Allen has 16 fumbles on the season. 8 of them have been against the Miami Dolphins. Jeremy White on Twitter pointed this out. 16 fumbles on the year. In the 3 times he's played Miami, this includes the postseason, obviously, 8 of them have come against the Miami Dolphins. That's absurd. Do you think they get in his head? Because watching him in that game against the Dolphins, he didn't seem like his decision-making, like he was playing on point, like he was locked into that game. Do you think it's a mental thing with this team, or do you think it's just a coincidence?
Well, I mean, mathematically speaking, he's now played that team 3 times. So part of it is that he plays that team more than any other team.
Right, but he's had 14 other games that he's played in, right? Yeah. And so half of his fumbles came in 3 games, and they happen to be against the same team.
So yeah, they play him 3 times, and they have his number. I think is what's happening here.
Yeah. And maybe it's because, I mean, not to pander, but maybe it's because Christian Wilkins went to the best college football program.
Your pandering's working. It doesn't matter.
And he's scared, and he's really scared of him. And he's especially scared of how handsome he is and how handsome everybody that went to Clemson is.
Speaking my language, Coop.
Right?
You know what?
Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, I think you explained it. I think you explained it pretty well.
That's probably what it is. I mean, not on top of that, the Dolphins have spent a good amount on their pass rush, right? Like it's not like their pass rush is terrible. I think it might just be this. Some teams don't focus on sacks isn't always the best measure because some teams focus on containment to a certain degree, but they spent a good amount of money on these guys. Jalen Phillips is a 1st-round pick, Christian Wilkins is a 1st-round pick, Raekwon Davis is a 2nd-round pick. They got the pieces, right? They traded for Bradley Chubb. These guys have pretty serious front 7. So I guess it isn't that surprising to me.
Yeah. It makes sense. I was just surprised by that. That seems absurd. The Dolphins team, we don't think of their defense when we think of that Dolphins team, but they've got Josh Allen's number, like you said, JL. They got him figured out.
Now, there were some rumors floating around that, speaking of this Dolphins team, that they might be interested in Tom Brady being their quarterback. Now, after yesterday, I mean, just in general, even before yesterday, I wonder aloud to myself and also to you guys and to our crowd, what team is going to offer something that Tom Brady doesn't have? What team has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Leonard
immortality?
The Fountain of Youth. If a team had that, he would definitely go. Right?
Oh, 100%. Come to our team, Tom.
Right.
You'll never grow a day older.
Now that he's lost his pipeline for Brazilian supermodel HGH, he's got to find a new Fountain of Youth.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but like, what are the Dolphins? I mean, Waddle and Tyreek Hill, I would say a potential upgrade over Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, but by how much? I mean, how can you get that much better than what he's got? You know?
No, it's an upgrade, but not a major upgrade. He's going from one of the best wide receiver duos in the league to maybe the best wide receiver duo in the league.
Coaching upgrade?
Yeah, I think it is a coaching upgrade. That would be the piece I was going to bring up, Coop, is two things for me that make that seem possible. One, a different coach that maybe he'd like to play with. And then two, sometimes you just want to change the scenery when things aren't going well. Know what I mean? If things aren't going right, sometimes you just, okay, hit the reset.
Rebound team.
Exactly. Let's try again. Let's reset this and just try again. Start over.
Tommy says the Raiders. Waller equals Gronk. Adams equals Moss. Renfro equals Edelman. And then Josh McDaniels.
You could do that with most teams, Tommy.
I don't know if you could. That one actually lines up pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
Jill, do it with the Ravens.
Andrews, Bateman, Isaiah Likely. Boom. Let's go.
Duvernay. Maybe a little Duvernay. Right? Maybe a little James Proche.
It's beautiful.
Renfro already is a star, Tommy. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to throw shade on Hunter Renfro. He's got that handsomeness that Christian Wilkins has as well. Just radiates off of him.
Orange. Being the second greatest orange team in the country. After Charles and I's Volunteers.
Yeah, that's the wrong orange, though.
Is it, though? That's that Rocky Top orange.
Yeah, not the right orange.
I forget what the overhead one was again. Is that the Tigers up here?
That's the cat swatting away your bait.
Cat swat?
Cat swatting away all your bait.
I've said one nice thing and now one mean thing, and I'm back to even.
Back to neutral.
Back to neutral. So, yeah, I don't know. Tom Brady, I think if he's going to keep playing, he should just stay where he's at, and they should improve the line. Problem solved. Because I think K-Don is good enough.
K-Don's not bad. I don't know that I have a ton of confidence in Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
What are you guys' feelings about Todd Bowles?
Defensive coordinator. That's what I feel about him.
Head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers currently.
That's what I mean. Is he should be a defensive coordinator. You know?
Yeah.
Bruce Arians, he just has that something extra. You know what I mean? And honestly, it comes out in the press conferences, right? Like, I don't know, just the ability to get up there and just tell everyone to shut the hell up. You know, like Mike Tomlin can do it, and people do it different ways. Pete Carroll does it with like a smile and a wink and a chew of some gum, but he's good at shutting down questions. Like good head coaches are good at deflecting, and like some of these guys are not good at it. We've seen so many great meltdowns in this league. They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. Like, whereas the great coaches don't necessarily do that. You know. Now, did you guys see John Harbaugh's halftime interview at the game? Oh, yes. Did you see it, J.O.?
Yo, he was so politely snippy. Like, he was trying so hard to keep that smile on his face.
He dropped the old snip snap hard. She asked 2 questions back to back that were like, basically like, they were pretty trash questions. And I'm sure she didn't come up with them, but the question, or maybe she did, but the questions were, how did you feel about that interception your team just threw? Right. And he was like, clearly just like, I didn't like it, you know? And then they were like, she was like, you mentioned we might see Anthony Brown. What's it going to take for Anthony Brown to be in there? And he basically hit her with like the James Harden face. Like, really? Yeah. He shut that. I forget what he actually said, but he shut that down. He was like, we're done here. Right.
He said, like, let's wait and see what happens or something like that. And just like while smiling, but with so much like vitriol and such a pleasant voice. You know what I mean? Like the tone of the voice was nice, but you could feel the anger.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Oh, you got to watch it. It is literally like you could crack a walnut in between his teeth when he was smiling. He was like, thank you very much, Miss Lippy. Right. He was not pleased with that one.
He's got like a Nature Valley bar just in between his teeth, just breaks through it and shoots everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, he was gritting his teeth so hard he could have eaten 1.5 in Nature Valley bar.
Maria said my man was angry. Yeah, that dude was.
Yeah, he is fired up, dude.
That dude was fired up,
which was awesome. I love that, dude. He hit him with the bless your heart.
The old bless your heart. Speaking of the Ravens, guys, did you see Lamar Jackson's Instagram post yesterday?
I did.
He said, when you have, this is just text in his Instagram post, said, when you have something good, you don't play with it. You don't take chances losing it. You don't neglect it. When you have something good, you pour into it. You appreciate it. But when you take care of something good, that good thing takes care of you. He's talking about Neopets, right?
Yeah, I think that's what he's raising a fine Neopet. I'm thinking
Tamagotchi.
I was the Tamagotchi is what I had. I think I might have been on the Neopets briefly. That was the website, right?
They did have a website.
Yeah.
Did you say that was a website, right? About Neopets?
Was it
Neopets
a website?
It was a lifestyle.
Oh,
yeah.
It was a little bit more than a website
they had a website, but
when you were 7,
website.
Neopets was a way of life. It was something that you did when you got home. You better check on them or they're gonna die. You better sell some items in the shop. Go to the soup kitchen, donate some things. It was who we were at that age.
It was.
It's who we were. You sound like a dude talking about like getting back from Vietnam. It was way left out there.
Playing Tamagotchi, taking care of those creatures. It was our Vietnam.
Sometimes we're bad.
Sometimes you do things you didn't want to do, but it was the way that it was.
When my Jet Sam died of hunger, and I never thought I'd recover. But then I adopted my Flot Sam, and everything was okay.
We left a lot of good electronic pets over there. What are we talking about? Football?
Doesn't have a football. Oh yeah, Lamar Jackson.
That's right. Oh, I saw that, and like how I took it at first was very different from how I saw other people taking it whenever I then read the comments. My first reaction when I saw it was, oh, Lamar Jackson's so grateful that they didn't have him play in this game, even though he's hurt. Like, this is an appreciative post saying, like, they know that they've got something great and they're taking care of me. And then I read all the comments, and apparently I'm a little bit more optimistic than a lot of other people whenever they read that.
Yeah.
Because most people seem to think he's taking a shot, that it's saying they're not doing that.
They're not taking care of him.
That they're not taking care of him. I'm curious what you guys think, because I was convinced pretty quickly that it was that way, but my initial reaction was, oh, look, Lamar appreciates what the Ravens have done.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way, but he didn't travel with the team. That was part of it for me.
Yeah, I feel like it's unlikely the optimistic route here, Simon.
I agree.
But it is an adorable thought.
It's kind of cute, right? Yeah, as soon as I read the comments, I wasn't like, oh, you idiots. I was like, yeah, that makes more sense.
Man, what a great quarterback.
Wow, really looking out for his boys. Do you guys think he ends up back with the Ravens, or do you think he's gone?
I think it's 50-50. I don't think anybody could tell you one way or the other at this point, because we just don't know. And it could go either way. This thing could devolve so quickly. It also could get repaired in a relatively short amount of time if they're able to reach agreement. So it's hard to know without knowing what's exactly holding them up.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many rumors, right? Like the rumors of that, like he doesn't work. He doesn't have a good work ethic, which, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to see that being the case, but when you're not in there, but maybe that's part of it. But I bet you part of it is that he doesn't have an agent. He doesn't have an agent. And to be honest, as somebody, I have a background in real estate, and it does, especially real estate, like you can do it yourself, but it helps to have somebody that's their only job. That's their only task. Like when you're Lamar Jackson, you have a lot going on. You have like, not just like outside of your actual job being a professional football player, which is a ton, is like they have like mandatory charity stuff they need to do. They have endorsement stuff they need to do. Like your agent, his only job is to make sure that you're getting paid. So, that does facilitate that process. There's no question. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I see Tommy in the chat asking, where does he go? Lamar to the Jets. Oddly, I was like rattling off the places where he could go. And, being a in-depth analyst that I am, the first thing I thought about is which uniform he would look most normal in. Like what uniform could I picture him wearing? And like between Jets and Commanders, which one do you think Lamar looks more?
Oh,
if you had to
Jets.
pick one. See, he is the Jets. Jets or Titans.
Well, that's
Just-
I mean, Jets are closer to both Baltimore. I'm just picking also like teams that are close in colors to Baltimore and Louisville, which is a Scottish team.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's
always
part
had
of it.
like
That's part
like
of it.
these black dominant team colors.
Yeah.
Both schools.
He needs an all black uniform. Maybe he goes to the Saints.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the rotation, you know.
Listen to this Pro Football. So this article I have up in front of me is from Pro Football Talk talking about this quote. And listen to this sentence that is somebody wrote. As the offseason officially commences in Baltimore, Jackson may be ready to continue to apply pressure to the pimple that has festered on the forehead of the player and team.
What the hell?
One more time.
Can that person unwrite that?
As the offseason officially commences in Baltimore, Jackson may be ready to continue to apply pressure to the pimple that has festered on the forehead of player and team.
What? Why?
Did Florio? Did Florio?
It caught my eye. I saw pimple, and I'm like, "Why?"
No. This AI article writing is getting a little bit out of hand at this point, guys. They're trying to come up with weird analogies.
Florio's
this is some Chat GPT stuff that's coming out in this article.
Deep fake Florio.
Deep fake Florio.
Was that Florio? Did Florio write that, or who wrote that?
It's from Pro Football Talk, so
it doesn't
presumably his interns.
You could even go ahead and say pimple as long as you don't say fester.
But then the end of it is
Fester as long as it's someone's name, like Uncle Fester.
Hey, Fester.
Fester is one of the grossest words. There's no doubt about it.
There used to be a Fester on Clemson, right? Simon?
Excuse me?
Who was the running back? Foster? Fester? It was Fester.
Feaster.
Feaster? Is that what it is?
Tavian Feaster.
Tavian
Feaster.
Feaster.
The next big thing.
I was thinking the opposite, Feaster, Tavian. But that sounds definitely like a last name, first name combo.
Fester, the running back.
Fester. Everybody knows
Fester. The third.
Lester Fester.
I threw a poll in the chat asking if Lamar Jackson is going. Do you think Lamar Jackson is going to be on the Ravens next season? So I want to hear you chat.
Bro, Lamar Jackson on the Titans would be crazy. They would just run a million times. But just imagine Derrick Henry getting a RPO handoff from Lamar Jackson. You don't know which of those dudes is going to run it.
That sounds like cheating almost.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like one of those things. Like, it may not work multiple years in a row, but I bet it would work one. Know what I mean? Like, I bet it would really work for a full season before teams started figuring it out.
They might not win the Super Bowl, but they're going to beat a couple teams by 50. Right? Like, they're gonna beat they might not win the Super Bowl, but they're gonna hang 700 rushing yards on the Texans in those two games. Right? Like,
that's poor Texans.
It would be worth it just for that. You know what I mean? Some team would figure it out, but yeah,
but not the Texans.
Yeah, some teams would want to. Some teams would be canceling their next game. They'd be like, we don't got any dudes left.
Nobody. Oh man, now I want them on. I want them back on the Ravens. Is what I really want. I want them to figure it out, put this stuff behind them, re-sign with the Ravens. Lamar Jackson makes sense as a Raven, and it's fun having him in the AFC North. Like, that division is fun, with the young quarterbacks in there. So I want him to stay there, but if he does have to go somewhere, Coop, I'm not convinced. Put him on the Titans. Give me the Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry combo. That sounds disgusting.
If you think about what's standing in the way of his contract, I think what's really going on is like, here's right, like, let's say this is Lamar Jackson, and this microphone is a contract. I would say that this is Greg Roman right here.
Well, they need to fire Greg Roman.
Once you fire Greg Roman, it's going to be a lot easier to do this with the contract.
Oh.
Because Greg Roman is the worst
Italian.
because he's Italian.
And that's a sombrero, which is why he's got to go.
You guys get it, dude. Now
Mismatch.
you guys get it. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. It's in between. We got to get him out. Greg Roman, like, going all the way back to the 49ers, there's been one time that he's been outside of the bottom 4 in pass attempts in the league. That's not how you win in the modern NFL. Get him out of my face. I'm done.
You win in the modern NFL.
Throwing the foosball, my boy. Did you see the teams that played in the Super Bowl last year? It was the friggin' Bengals and the Rams. They were just huck it, chuck it football. 11 personnel every snap. That's how you
Who
win.
won?
The Rams.
Because they chucked it more.
Because they chucked it to Cooper Cup, but then they
The
didn't
old
have
toss.
They didn't have
Chucky
Cooper
Cup
Cup.
it.
You just got to Chucky Cup it. Yeah. So.
Tim in here with an interesting option for Lamar Jackson says Trey Lance to the Ravens and Lamar to the Niners. Make the Niners absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't see it happening, but oh my God, would that be fun?
That'd
Like
be
that
wild.
could be.
That's like
That could be fun.
It's like taking your brand new, well, couple-year-old Maserati, just switching it up for a nice Hyundai Kia.
The old Hyundai Kia.
Kia.
A classic car of this show. Yeah,
Yes.
or not even a Hyundai Kia. It's like a car that somebody made, in their garage, and it looks kind of cool, but you have no idea if it's going to work.
That one rich guy paid a lot of money for it, though.
You're at a used car dealership, and they have a deal. Trade in your old car, get a mystery car from the lot. And you see some of the options they got. They got those Porsches on the lot, like, ooh, boy. But they also got that 1995 Corolla without two of the hubcaps. It's going to work, but who knows for how long.
The Corolla, the 1995 Corolla missing the hubcaps and lowered within like an inch of the ground. That's the official car of Rhode Island. Extra points if there are like all sorts of illegal lights like underneath it and like on the
RIP if it hit a speed bump though.
Yeah, well that's part of the game. That's
no
part of the game.
in Rhode Island.
Get stuck on a speed bump.
Rhode Island's not big enough to need a speed bump. Like by the time you get up to speed, you're in Connecticut.
They don't. There are so many potholes.
30
feet.
Need
speed bumps. They have natural speed bumps.
30-foot state.
20, 25. Oh, we're in Connecticut.
Didn't even get to 30.
Rhode Island is crazy like that. The craziest part of Rhode Island is that when you actually like live in the area and stuff, you realize that it's the smallest state, and most everything is just right at Providence too. So not only is it small state, but everything happens also in an even smaller area. Like the bottom
like a city state.
The part down where Connecticut is, like the bottom left, there's nothing there.
I'm sorry, Rhode Islanders. I've not even convinced you're real since I've never met one of you, but Rhode Island's got to be one of the more forgettable states.
Yeah. Except
right?
It's so forgettable that it's not forgettable. Know what I mean? It's the one whenever you think, what state am I forgetting? Rhode Island's the first one that comes to mind. The one I always forget is Delaware. Like,
mine switch because I know Delaware because I grew up next to Delaware.
Delaware is just like Wayne's World sums it up perfectly. Like, hi, I'm just
gonna have to take you to Delaware and show you it's a normal state, Sabin.
I don't know. It seems weird.
Rhode Island's not even the least populated state.
Wyoming
is, yeah. Rhode Island's not even in the bottom like 5. They got a lot of folks.
States. They're slam packed. They got all sorts of people in them.
They're all jammed up with folk.
Also, Craig in here said, I'm not convinced that any of you are real either.
It's all simulation.
You got to come to the expo next year. That was your mistake.
And then you'll see how good our simulations really are.
Though Craig was there at the expo in spirit. He sent me this Grimace cup.
Grimace. Dale, that article headline you brought up was a great one, but I also saw another great article headline yesterday from SB Nation. And the title of this article was Kirk Cousins is never going to win anything because he's a Costco hot dog.
True. I don't know why, but true.
And then the subtitle is All Hail the Greatest Regular Season Pro Bowl Quarterback in the NFL. They're just going in on Kirk on this SB Nation article.
Not only did I see that article, but I read that article. And the guy, at first I was like, this is going to be stupid. And I was reading it, I was like,
pretty good article.
Makes all the sense in the world. Because he was basically like, here's the thing. He's like, I love Costco. Costco, it has reliable products at a great price. He's like, that's why I call him Kirkland Cousins. He goes, Costco hot dogs are good. They're not great though. Yeah, and that's what you need. He's like, that's what you need to win.
No sense of fashion.
Right. So you made a lot of sense, dude. It's like, that's the crazy thing. Only one team out of 32 gets to win. So you could be the 15th best quarterback in the whole world, and that's not good enough. That's how crazy the NFL is.
Yeah, unless you got that number 1 defense helping carry your 15th best quarterback ass to the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And it looks like producer Keith found that Harbaugh clip, which I do want to see that if we have a moment.
Let's throw it up there.
Penalty.
Well, I didn't like the last penalty.
And so what will you tell your guys defensively?
We'll be fine. Our guys will be fine. It's going to be a hard-fought game out here. We're going to play a good game.
And Tyler Huntley with that interception, you said we might see Anthony Brown. What will that take?
We'll just see how the game goes, okay? Thanks.
Thanks, John.
You could see once he turned his head away, he was like, God damn. Right?
The little smile when he turned around. He turned his head away and he had a choice right there. He was like, what am I going to do? And then he came back with a little smile with his teeth bared.
I don't think that lady.
Brown.
Yeah, I don't think that lady realizes how close she was to getting her nose bit off. Like it was right there. He turned away. He was like, ah.
We got Dustin in here saying good morning. What's up, Dustin? And Tim saying
Morning,
Costco hot dogs
Dustin.
and pizza actually slap. That Costco pizza is really freaking good. It's greasy and delicious and large sliced.
Before I was vegetarian, the move always was I forget what it's called, but it's like a provolone melt. It's like a little sandwich calzone thing they have there.
Yes, the chicken bake.
Chicken bake, that's what it's called. Thank you. And then you got to get a smoothie. Their wild berry smoothies off the charts, and a churro. Those two combo, can't miss.
So the newest trend, especially on the Costco subreddit, is because obviously we got to all be on there, is to take a hot dog from Costco and then stuff it inside of one of the chicken bake things.
Oh my God.
That's the next evolution, because I've seen the pizza where you get a hot dog from Costco and a slice of pizza and you roll the hot dog up in the pizza and you've got a pizza dog. Like that's the classic Costco hack. I haven't seen this one yet.
That's the move. Yeah, this is a new one. Costco hot dog chicken. I mean, I just saw it 18 hours ago. Costco hot dog chicken bake in experience. And then, there's been quite a few people posting on there. The top comment on a picture this guy posted of his hot dog slammed inside of a chicken bake is the top comment is, your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Ian Malcolm, Jurassic Park.
There's been a couple things that make me think that. Do you remember when KFC had the chicken sandwich where there were no buns? It was just fried chicken as the buns with things in the middle. Like I was looking at that and I was like, that looks so good, but I'm never going to eat it. Like that crosses the line. That crosses the line of what I'm willing to like put into my body and still have self-respect.
Right. Just like the line of reasoning, like, okay, we like this thing. This thing is in this other thing. Now let's replace all the other things in there with the thing that we like and just make it all one thing, but a bunch of it.
Genius.
What's it called? Was it called the Double Down?
Oh my Tim God. Right in the chat. Don't you dare besmirch the KFC Double Down.
It was 2 pieces of fried chicken as the buns. Then on the inside, it had bacon, cheese, and sauce. Just sandwiched between 2 slices of fried chicken.
Greatest country ever made.
I'm not saying it doesn't look good. It looks so good, but I just crosses the line.
Dude, the one in New Zealand. I'm looking at a different variation of it in New Zealand. Dude, the one in New Zealand has 2 fried chicken fillets, 2 slices of cheese, bacon, a hash brown, and then it's all slathered in a blend of gravy and mayonnaise called gravy nays.
Naturally.
Gravy nays. That sounds like a medication for when you have a runny nose. Like, hey, can you pass me the gravy nays?
Pass me the gravy nays.
Ask your doctor if you were right for gravy nays.
They
cause diarrhea and death.
I like the idea that you are right for gravy nays, not gravy nays being right for you.
Yeah,
sorry, you're just not his type.
Is your cholesterol?
Your nostrils are too big. It's just not going to work.
Is your cholesterol too low? Ask your doctor about gravy nays.
Don't be below average.
Is your heart too healthy? Ask your doctor if you should be prescribed gravy nays.
Side effects may include defecating your pants, self-loathing, and the loss of all self-respect.
And being incredibly happy for 3 minutes while you're eating.
Well, incredibly sad for the next 3 hours.
Well, speaking of gravy nays, let's talk about football. Did you guys see what Joey Bosa had to say about the referees?
I was just about to bring it up.
He went all the way in. He knew he was saying something naughty because he immediately. So first he was like, "I'm so sick and tired of these effing guys talking about the referees," and then he immediately turned around and said what I think is the even more interesting quote, where he was talking about getting fined. He goes, "If I say something to them, I get a $40,000 fine. But if they blow a call that ruins an entire team's season, they'll probably be back in the locker room after the game like, ha ha, got that asshole. Oh yeah, got him 15 yards. What a loser."
Loser.
Can you imagine? That's what I picture like dudes on Twitter being like when they like ask me which tight end to start. Right? They probably think that I'm like, ha, I told this guy to start Gerald Everett. What an idiot. Like, of course they're not sitting back being like, oh yeah, I gave him a 15-yard penalty when he didn't deserve it. Like, these guys are trying to get it right, are they not? Do you think that refs actually do that where they're like,
here's what I'm going to say. I don't think they're actually trying to screw anybody over. I do think what he's saying though, like being in the locker room, when you work in an environment, to us, that would be a high stress environment. To them, it is their workplace. And what you often do is joke about things that may seem very serious to others, but become very commonplace for you. So yeah, maybe you miss a call and it screwed them over. Know what I mean? And maybe in the locker room afterwards, they are joking around about it. Like, I do think that's not completely unreal. Whenever you watch like doctors, I'm sure joke about like life and death situations. Know what I mean?
Yeah,
a patient dies on the table, like traumatizing to them, but I'm sure they're still joking about it. It's normalized to them. So I bet like this is part of their job. Surely they joke about it. I don't think it's malicious in making the call, but I can see what he's talking about. Like, they probably are, because it's normalized to them sitting back there and joking about the things that went wrong during that game.
That's absolutely right, Simon. That is like a big thing I've read about. Is there's a book that's called something about taking your last breath. It is like talking about how doctors, this guy was like a brain scientist or neurosurgeon, and he's like got weirded out because in medical school they like first thing they do is you cut up cadavers, and it starts to become so normal that what you see is a lot of these like more immature medical students disrespecting these bodies that have been donated to science. All that being said,
which is hilarious.
Which is get you kicked out of medical school immediately. They don't mess around with that.
But it's easy to do that.
Doesn't mean it's not funny, Simon. I've seen guys get kicked out of school for funny stuff.
It's true. You can totally get kicked out for funny stuff.
I got kicked out of school. Not kicked out of school. I got suspended for 3 days for trying to jump over a fence at the Golden Corral and breaking it.
See, hilarious.
Right? I didn't make it.
Did you not get high enough?
No, I didn't get high enough. And
he was high enough to try and jump the fence.
It was on Easter. It was on Easter.
At a Golden Corral.
Flying back from New
high
York.
enough to eat at Golden Corral.
Hey, I wasn't driving the bus. I just got off of it. And the people at Golden Corral told me, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It happens all the time. People jump over a fence and break it daily. It was one of those ones that was just like the rotten wooden beams sitting in two slats. Know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And I went in and apologized. I said, don't worry about it. Next day at school, I get called out of my classroom by the administrator.
No.
3 days OSS. And I go home and I tell my parents.
Out of school?
Out of school suspension. I tell my parents.
That's a gift.
And my mom thinks I'm lying to her. Like, I'm telling her the whole story. She's a teacher. She's never once taken my side in any school versus me event ever, because she knows what it's like on the teacher side. She's like, you're full of it. You're lying. There was something else going on there. Drives me to the school. There was nothing else going on. And then my dad gets home. We're all sitting around the dinner table. And it was Easter. And I had brought an Easter bunny costume to wear with me that I was planning on wearing on the bus on the way home. And my dad.
From the Golden Corral.
Yeah, I'm afraid my dad is going to be pissed. No, from New York City. We stopped at the Golden Corral on the way home. I'm sitting at the dinner table, and I'm afraid my dad is so mad. Like, and it's kind of quiet. It's a little bit awkward. I'm waiting for him to say something like, I'm not going to bring it up, but I know he's going to. And he goes, were you wearing the Easter bunny costume? But he still got the serious face on. And I said, no, I wasn't. I said, no, I wasn't. And he goes, well, maybe if you were, you would have jumped high enough. And then he just looks back.
Straight killer.
That's a
Yawn.
dad joke.
Yawn
That's
for the top rope.
He got me because I was expecting anger as well. I was expecting just mad, but he got me right there.
They quietly, they were afterwards, they were like, Oh, thank God. Like only the cool kids get suspended every once in a while. So maybe he's normal.
All I did was every college application it filled out, I had to write an additional essay for every single one of them. And in every single one, it was like, yeah, I broke a fence at a Golden Corral. Sorry about that. Well, we don't have any fences on your campus.
We do. Yeah. That's a tough suspension to swallow, man. Like, what did Golden Corral like hit up the school to pay for it? That's probably why you got
Yeah, I offered to pay for it on the spot, and they said, "Don't worry about it. Everything's good."
How'd you even get caught?
Because it was a school field trip, and we were on our way back to the bus.
Oh.
Senior year of high school, no, junior year of high school, and they caught me, saw me. I tried climbing right back on the bus, but then I got off because I felt guilty and went and apologized. But it happens. Guys,
happens.
Coming up, we are going to play some vague descriptions. We've got some Monday Night Football recap to talk about. We're going to answer some questions from Reddit, and then we've got a new game called Texas Ranges we're going to be bringing your way as well. Right now, you're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Corey, Nando, and friends, presented by Mayo Media on Better Sports Network.
I'm convinced that Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Babe Ruth is not real. No, it's not. Babe Ruth is not real. We've been hoodwinked. We've been bamboozled. We've been led astray. We've been run amok.
Keep going.
Babe Ruth, I don't know the rest. Babe Ruth is a fictional character. I'm dead serious. Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Y'all are never going to get me to believe that Babe Ruth is real. Babe Ruth is like a baseball Santa Claus. I'm not buying it. After I saw those highlights last night of Babe Ruth, I'm like, there's no way you can tell me that Babe Ruth is a real person. Who do you know? There is nobody under the sound of my voice that has ever seen Babe Ruth play. I asked my pop, you ever seen Babe Ruth play? He's like, no. Nobody's ever seen Babe Ruth play.
Come on.
I'm telling you, Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Even Babe Ruth baseball cards, it looked like it's drawn. Like, Babe Ruth is not real. Y'all trying to pull a fast one. Listen, I don't know who made this up. Maybe it was Phil Rizzuto. Maybe it's the Lenny Melnick. But Babe Ruth is not a real person. There's no way. Everything about Babe Ruth is sketchy. If you didn't go to the games, how do you know that it really happened? Or I listened on the radio. You listen to Ovaltine on the radio. That old school radio was all fiction. Everything on old school radio was fake. But you think Babe Ruth is real.
Look, he lived until 1948. So if you find someone who's like 85 years old, they might have remembered him when he was little, when they were a little teenager.
Babe Ruth was made up by baseball purists. I am certain.
You do that thing where you pause the Babe Ruth video and you zoom in and you zoom in and you zoom in. You see like some artist's autograph like right here.
Yeah, you like
some digital art right here. Yeah.
Somebody need to investigate this and see if Babe Ruth is a real person. I'm pretty sure Babe Ruth is a fictional character created to make people think that like there was this great jolly old baseball player that drank beers and ate hot dogs and hit 60 home runs. Like the home run record before Babe Ruth was like 14. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and
but
now
he figured it out. Like who figured out the dunk, right? Like he's just like,
that's like Dr. J or something, right? It was Dr. J. Probably was before Dr. J, but Dr. J made the dunk famous. Babe Ruth made the home run famous, or maybe that was a way to get people to like, we're gonna make baseball America's pastime. But in order to do so, we need somebody who we can make the face of the sport. And they didn't have no face of the sport. So they're like, okay, let's make him a fictional guy that played for the Red Sox and was traded to the Yankees for like tickets to tickets to cats. You know what I'm saying? Like the Red Sox get a Yankees.
You tried to say
is there any footage of Babe Ruth in the Red Sox uniform? None. I'm telling you, Babe Ruth is a fictional character.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. We got Jolly Rancher in the chat saying good morning. Good morning, Jolly Rancher. Welcome in,
Good morning, Mama.
Good morning.
Glad to have you here. And JL, during one of your last stories, I forget what we were talking about. Oh, Costco. We were talking about Costco. You mentioned a churro. we are going to get some bomb churros when you're here in San Antonio. I'm going to take you to my favorite churro spot. We're going to get it's so good.
What's the churro spot? We don't really have a lot of churro spots up here, I got to admit.
Honcho's Churros is my go-to here. It's
sounds awesome.
The best spots, the best restaurant, Sancho's. The best churros, Honcho's. It's got a rhyme for it to be the best place in San Antonio.
Best beans, Lanchos.
Oh, I love Lanchos.
Lanchos.
Oh my God. I'm looking at these churros right now, dude. Do they put that in ice cream?
They got ice cream ones. They got all sorts of stuff you can do. They got a big old one that's like the size of a pizza that comes in a twine. That's a big spiral. They got little mini hoops.
Pizza spine twirls.
They're going crazy at this churro place. We're gonna go wild. Guys, I wanted to bring up a story from this weekend that we haven't talked about yet. Aaron Donald's Twitter bio changed for a moment on Sunday, and it read former Pitt football player number 97, former NFL D lineman for the Rams, number 99. It was changed back. The former is gone. It doesn't say former anymore, but there was a time period on Sunday where he wrote former NFL D lineman for the Rams, number 99. Do you guys think there's anything here? Like, is he considering retirement? Is the dude retiring? Or was it just a typo? Know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing happens. You typed it for one. Maybe he copy pasted and was just going to change the Rams, left former in there. Like, I could see that as well. Do you guys think there's something there? Or this is just
I don't know, dude. Seems pretty specific. I don't know if I've accidentally typed that I quit my job before. It's pretty crazy. And I mean, the thing with him,
I have.
He's 31. I quit. He's 31. You know, he's easily a first ballot Hall of Famer. You know, so if he wanted to quit right now, who are we to say that he doesn't deserve it? Right? He's a multimillionaire. He can do whatever he wants. So
we are the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show, Coop.
What's that?
We're the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. You can tell Aaron Donald to do whatever we want to do.
That's right, Donald. And here's my advice to you: do whatever the hell you want. Because I mean, if I tried to tell a guy like that, I don't think the three of us. I don't think the three of us with three more. I don't think all of us watching and involved in the show could get Aaron Donald to do a single damn thing. So
100 Keefs or one Aaron Donald.
Well, now here's if it's strength, absolutely. If we have to physically get him to do something, I don't think we could, Coop.
Yeah.
Charismatically, not a chance. Not going to happen either. But there is another route that I just wanted to put out there that maybe some others could do. They could charm Aaron Donald.
Social engineering.
Not Keith though.
Yeah, Keith's not charming.
Just picture 100 Keiths in his underwear like he was yesterday in the video. Yeah. Just like
how charismatic and 100 Keiths in his underwear be?
Doing like old timey wrestling stances.
Yeah, he's probably gone though, and no amount of Keith in his underpants is probably going to convince him to unretire. Yeah. Dustin in here saying he was going to retire last season, and they convinced him to come back for one more run. He is done. Yeah, and he's probably not seeing one more run on the horizon for him on this team anymore. So I think he's probably retiring, and maybe he didn't mean to quiet quit or to retire publicly in his Twitter bio. And was just updating it, but I imagine we'll see the official news soon.
Yeah. Potentially. I mean, maybe he's just gauging what the response would be. Just kind of throwing it out there, seeing what get a little feedback. Yeah. Now that people like us are just like, yeah, do whatever you want, then maybe he will just do whatever he wants.
He's just trying to see like if he had the same reception as JJ Watt. Yeah. He didn't want to announce his retirement. Nobody answers. Nobody says nice things.
So that's the thing, though, is when you retire at J.J. Watt's age, then people are like, oh, it's time, all that. But when you retire at his age, I don't think you get the same reception. Because think back to when Calvin Johnson retired. Like, he was 30, which is the age that a lot of us sit here and say, oh, I'm not drafting that wide receiver in fantasy football. But when he retired, everyone was like, what do you mean you're retiring? Like, you're the Megatron. You know what I mean? And, like, it wasn't real. There wasn't, like, a whole... have fun in retirement. It was more people were like outraged. You know what I mean? So I don't know. If he retires at 31, he's kind of right there on the line where it's not going to be like, oh, it's time. The David Ortiz tour or whatever, and giving him trophies and ripping chairs out of the stadium. Like, I think if he retires at 31, people will just be like, oh yeah, okay.
I think
surprised.
the outrage aspect of it is ridiculous. Like
I know.
the entitlement that people have to think they have that they're entitled to more of this guy putting his body on the line for their entertainment. Like, if he wants to retire, dude can retire. It's his job, and it's a dangerous, physically demanding job.
And Watt's
31's not young.
I was gonna say, like, JJ Watt's 33. So I think that I actually don't have a good gauge of when some of these pass rushers just like start to transition out and retire, but I don't think that's unreasonable for Aaron Donald.
Right. I think part of it is that like JJ Watt also had a number of serious injuries, whereas like Aaron Donald has generally been fairly healthy, is he not? Like, so it's not like you can point at that either. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe he just doesn't want to play anymore. It's like the whole like forcing him to play thing. Just my mind immediately goes to Space Jam, like the Moron Mountain animation where it's like Michael Jordan chained to a basketball hoop. It's like play football for my amusement. Like of course these guys can do whatever they want, and Aaron Donald doesn't have to work another day in his life, right?
Tim in here said the NFC West is already sending edible arrangements as a congratulations to Donald. Yeah, they're pretty happy. And Adam wanted to know, do any of y'all think Brady and D-Hop go to the Raiders for one last run? So Brady and D-Hop, there's rumors about Brady looking for a new team. D-Hop, those aren't rumors anymore. He probably wants to be on the new team. They've said that out loud. Do you guys think we could see them both on the Raiders? Tom Brady throwing the Devontae Adams and DeAndre Hopkins for one last shot?
Now, if the Bucs offered Brady straight up for Derek Carr, do you think that would be a fair trade? A reasonable trade to make?
Offered Brady for Derek
Carr? So. I think so. Carr wants gone, right? He wants out of there. They want something. They could get a year, maybe two, out of the greatest quarterback of all time in return for a quarterback that's not going to play for them, and it works for the Bucs as well. Derek Carr could be their future for the next 5-6 years.
That's what I'm saying. If they were to trade, Derek Carr can be released or traded with only $5.6 million in dead cap, 30 million in cap savings. Yeah, so
definitely they have an out this year.
Yeah, he could easily be traded. I mean, I could see it.
Oh wait, he has a no trade clause.
Yeah, but he would waive that for that trade.
He would waive it in this case, but you do have to factor in the fact that has a choice in this, right? Like which team, similar to how Eli or was it Aaron Rodgers most recently did that?
Yeah. Veto the old trade. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think in this case he probably would be like, all right, go play with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yeah. I mean, most teams are probably more appealing than the Raiders at this point for Derek Carr.
Yeah, the big sell for Brady obviously is I think McDaniels just playing in the offense, that he's comfortable with.
Yeah, and the big sell for McDaniels is Brady. And they're saying Brady is a free agent, is what Keith's coming in here and letting us know. So Brady's a free agent, so the trade part may not be necessary.
Maybe they do a little sign and trade.
They sign Brady and
more of an NBA move than it is, because the NBA you need to like match contracts and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I guess he could just walk. But
Greg in here said, "How close to retiring are you three?" Coop, how close to retiring are you?
Not very close, but thinking about it, I'm actually the opposite of retiring, where I just work all day long.
Jay, are you close?
Starting at 7, and and some nights ending at 10:30.
That's pretty retired.
I'm not close to retiring financially, but I'm close. Yeah, I enjoy my work, so pretty much retired every day if you think about it.
Hey.
That's a good way to think about it.
Hey. And we got Albert in here saying, "Good morning, everyone." Good morning, Albert. Welcome in, my friend. Glad to have you here.
Cheers.
Yeehaw.
Yep, skiddly do. Now we're all just sitting here thinking about being retired. I'm just like, if I retired, this is what I would be doing. Like if I was like, I'm like, okay, I'm retired. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. Let's just talk about football.
Yeah, you guys want to do the show?
I'm gonna really focus on. I'm really gonna focus on what I want to do, which is talk about football with the boys.
Hey, you guys up? Yeah, I just couldn't sleep. Thinking about ball, man.
that was me on Sunday morning, which like once we got done doing the Sunday morning live streams, I like woke up and I was like, anyone want to get on like a Zoom call and talk about ball?
It's like the time we just streamed for 7 minutes with Joey without going live.
Yeah,
but we just do that for the full hour. 2
Classic.
hours of us just pretending like we're doing a show.
That was some of our best content, dude. Got lost to the ethosphere forever.
Forever. There was one more tweet I wanted to bring up, guys, that I saw yesterday. It was a little Brock Purdy stat. NFL on CBS tweeted out 49ers quarterbacks with 300 plus passing yards, 3 plus passing touchdowns, and 0 interceptions in a postseason game. Here's the list: Joe Montana, Steve Young, Brock Purdy. Those are the only 3 49ers quarterbacks to ever do that. That's a pretty monumental list to be a part of. If you can find any statistic that makes you the third to Steve Young and Joe Montana, it's probably a pretty good list to be on.
JL, if you had to rank those 3 guys, how would you rank them?
Number 1, Steve Nash. Number 2, Ben Crosby.
Yep.
Number 3,
Bing
Brock
Crosby.
Purdy.
Bing Crosby. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's fair.
Steve Nash, Bing Crosby, Brock Purdy, the 3 greatest 49ers quarterbacks of all time.
Stars.
Just unbelievable.
Brock Purdy is a star, dude. He's a stud. I'm convinced. And the more people are against it, the more I dig my heels in.
So are you switching sides? You think he's going to be the starter next year?
No, I was already on that side that he should be that there should be a competition. You know what I mean? It's just like the problem you run into with this situation, and it's the same situation kind of with like the Jalen Hurts Gardner Minshew swap, is that they're completely different quarterbacks. So it's not like it's an interchangeable offense. When you run that QB competition, it's hard to sit there and say, okay, you guys run the same plays. Because if you call the Trey Lance plays for Brock Purdy, obviously he's going to look terrible, right? It's like, hey, yeah, do a naked bootleg. And then they're like, oh, look at that. You know what I mean? But then they say like, oh, do a play action drop back and, throw this pass. Brock Purdy probably going to look better. So it's kind of hard to do a QB competition like that. You better trust your evaluators is what I'm saying. Your talent evaluators.
I was going to say they're going to have to figure it out because it seems like they do have a QB competition on their hands heading into next year.
Yeah, this isn't your old fashioned hang a tire in the yard and see who hits the most out of 10 here, right? Because Trey Lance,
is that how they usually decide who the starting quarterback is?
Back in my day, you gotta chuck them through the tire, and then you're a prom king.
It's actually what happened whenever Mac Jones got benched this season. Bailey Zappi, they didn't show it. He was on the sideline with a tire. Belichick saw him hit the 10th one in a row and was like, the rules are the rules, Mac. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Bailey Zappi's the starter now.
No, Mac was like, I get it. I saw it. I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Wasn't even a big tire.
He went to Alabama, so he picked up a little Southern twang.
Where's he from? Is he from Alabama?
He's from rich, spoiled Braddington ham.
Never heard of that one.
He's from Jacksonville, Florida, is where he's from.
Is he?
And his father played tennis at Flagler College. Have you guys ever been to the Flagler College campus?
No.
It's in St. Augustine, and it's worth touring. It's one of the more interesting college campuses. It was originally built as a resort for like the ultra rich back whenever it was like the Carnegies and like the Rockefellers. You know what I mean? Like those like old school famous rich names. It was a winter resort for them in Florida, and they had a train built just to shuttle the rich people from up north in the winter down to this resort in Florida in the summer. And so the whole thing is like an old school fancy resort that's not anymore. Now it's a college. They've got a college campus on this old school rich.
I can see all these rich jerks, like Mac Jones on the train too. Just a bunch of rich rats. They're like, how many DUIs do you have now, McCorkle?
McCorkle.
That's why they're all on the train.
I'm up to 20.
I'm up to 20. Last time I killed a man selling oranges.
Guys, I think it's time to move into our first game of the day. We're going to play some vague descriptions. One of my absolute favorites that we play on the show here. How it's going to work is contestants are going to be given a vague description of something and a category. They got to guess what it is correctly to get that point. If they miss it, their opponent has an opportunity to steal. John Luke, are you running this game for us today?
I am running this game for us today.
More Chungus in the chat. Morning, fellas. Brock is him.
That guy.
We just had that talk, that Brock talk on here, Chungus, and you're right on. We're on board with you. But now it's time to get into that vague talk.
You guys
Are you
remember
fully converted?
him? Whenever you said Brock is him, I immediately pictured him from the Powerpuff Girls. You remember the Satan that would wear dresses and makeup and was a villain named him?
Of course. Great name.
Wild. Powerpuff Girls was absolutely wild.
Time
And
is
Brock
yours.
is not
Describe
that
the rules.
character. I did describe the rules.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we can just get into it. Coop, you are starting the first vague description round here. You ready?
Yep. Possession arrow Simon's away for those at home.
That's true. All right. Here is your first vague description. The category is movie. Your description is a guy and his imaginary friend take on the finance sector.
A guy and his imaginary friends take on the finance sector.
I'm closing the chats. Coop, I recommend you do the same.
I'm going to do the same. A guy and his imaginary friend.
I got this. You better get it, Coop.
Oh no.
I threw a poll in the chat. Who's going to win this game of vague description, Simon or Coop?
Is this Fight Club?
Oh, damn it, you son of a gun.
This is Fight Club. Well done. Coop.
Most of the movie isn't about that, it seems. But that is.
You guys ever read the book?
No.
No.
It is if you've seen the movie, you truly don't need to, because it is the most true book to movie adaptation I've ever seen in my entire life. They literally just like read the book and then put pictures to it. Like it's unbelievable. You could follow along in the book while the movie's playing.
really?
It's so close.
I like that. And that's probably why the end of the movie doesn't translate as well to the book, I imagine.
Yeah, 100%. But still, great movie, great book.
Yeah.
Not as good as I once thought it was. I feel like every dude goes through a time period where like Fight Club's the greatest movie ever made. And then you get a little bit older and you're like, Fight Club's all right. Enjoyable.
I like distinctly remember that period of my life where I was like, you got to read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, bro.
Big Hunter S. Thompson face.
It'll change your life. I didn't do the drugs, but I basically did.
but I know what it was like.
Yeah, I know exactly what that was like.
All right,
in the
guys.
chat saying now it's the Joker. Yeah, culturally, the Joker has taken over for Fight Club 100%. I feel like
Exactly. That angstiness.
yeah, that just like it's the first like hardcore movie you saw. Know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of what Fight Club is. It's like it's your foray into like a real movie that's not like about guinea pigs saving the world or an ogre saving a princess.
It's about sticking it.
It
to
always
the man.
comes back to Shrek somehow.
Could have been a different ogre-based movie, saving a princess.
I'm trying to even think of that category. There's so many films.
All right,
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
It's not an ogre.
Close enough, bro. Have you seen him, dog?
I have. It's a hunchback. It's in the title of the movie.
He also has that one.
Ogre means ugly.
He also has that one wonky eye. Well, yeah, I mean, kind of. Ogre is definitely. If you get called an ogre, dude, it's not because they think
You
you're
missed the
Shrek.
whole point of Shrek.
Okay, I just opened the
That
chat.
is
And
the point
I opened the chat before the next one started, and all I saw was the most recent message from Better Boss with emoji boobs. I haven't read any context. I see a parentheses, period, parentheses, and then another one. Good morning. Good morning, Better Boss.
Good morning, Matt.
Is it it's a little cold where you are?
Attaboy, dude. I like the
No
boobs where you.
context.
I like the boobs where you use the Y as the middle of the boobs. Those are more.
He said meatloaf man boobs.
You know what I'm talking
Whatever,
about?
whatever the heck that means.
That adds all the context I need.
There you go.
All right,
well,
guys.
1-0 me.
Coop, you are up 1-0. Simon, this next one is yours. And Better
I'm
Boss
so
said
ready.
from Fight Club.
Yes.
Yeah, I have not
me-
watched since I said, "Oh, this is the most like life-changing movie I've ever." Since then,
Rest in peace to Meatloaf. Meatloaf passed away this year. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Meatloaf.
R.I.P. Meatloaf. All right, Simon. Here's your first vague description. If I can find it, this one, the category is movie character.
Character. Okay.
Your vague description is man who ends mass starvation with rocks.
Man who ends mass starvation with rocks. I'm trying to think where the trick could be here. What could rocks mean? Are they actually just rocks? Is he magic? Does he turn the rocks into something else? Are there any edible rocks? Salt is edible. What man feeds the world salt? I think I'm going down the wrong path here. That doesn't sound like any movie I've ever seen.
I'll take these off so I can think.
A man. Can you read it one more time for me, JL?
Man who ends mass starvation with rocks.
A man who ends mass starvation with rocks. And it's a movie character. He uses rocks to feed people. Makes soup out of rocks. Rock soup. I feel like I read a book called Rock Soup as a kid. Was there a movie called Rock Soup?
Rock Soup.
I'm just gonna go with
Who's the main character in Rock Soup?
I'm gonna go with Jesus.
Jesus.
I know he did
incorrect.
the bread thing, so I thought maybe he did a rock thing too in a movie
Yeah.
adaptation that I missed.
Pretty
That's
good guess.
incorrect. Coop, you have the opportunity to steal here.
Man who ends mass starvation with rocks.
What else could rocks mean?
I'm trying to. The problem that I'm having is I can't think of any starvation movies. Like I don't.
Can't say it like that.
Well, yeah, I can.
What's your favorite genre of movie? Oh, I love a good starvation flick.
Well, I don't know any. That's the thing. I'm trying to think of some.
Please, sir.
Trying to think of even
Can I
one.
have some of your rocks?
That's
Big
a starvation
starvation.
movie.
I'm so hungry.
That is one starvation movie.
Coop's like, yeah, ask for more.
Get it, dude. You get some rocks, bro. With the rocks. I don't know, dude. I really don't know, so I'm gonna just say
In my
like
head, I'm just imagining a guy just like slamming rocks together. And like that's all I can picture.
I'm gonna say I don't know, Hercules. What's the answer?
Hercules is incorrect. Incorrect. You guys want the answer?
Yes. No, I want to figure it
Give
out.
us
but I
give
don't
us give us another 30 seconds to just think about rocks.
All right, Simon.
Oh, rocks.
Okay, so rocks. I'm trying to think. Maybe the implement they use is rock. Like, and it's not a traditional. Like, maybe it's like a brick oven. Maybe a brick pizza oven. Who's a pizza character? Pizza Pete. And who ends starvation? with a
Petey Pizza. Is it Petey Pizza?
Is it Remy from Ratatouille?
It is not Remy from Ratatouille. Coop, last shot.
Oh.
Mass starvation.
Everybody's starving, bro. Is it what's that diamond movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? I don't even know any of the characters in that movie. I'm thinking like diamonds, rocks, or rocks. I don't know. Is it is it
Yeah, I picked the character from the movie Blood Diamond, starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
Is it Leonardo DiCaprio's character from the movie Blood Diamond?
Coop, you are correct.
Is it?
No, get out of here.
Got
This
it,
is
dude.
Thanos. Or as Simon says, Thanos.
Oh, right.
Thanos, man who ends mass starvation with rocks. And
I've never
Maria in the chat got it.
I've never seen that movie.
Really?
Nah, I'm behind on those.
Oh man, yeah, I should have gotten that one. That was pretty good, JL. That was pretty good.
Thanks.
That makes
Nobody's
sense.
gonna get points.
Supposedly.
Nobody's gonna get
Man,
points.
because it was usually I feel like you've got like one trick in there. It would be end mass starvation with rocks. Know what I mean? But both of them are a little misleading way to describe kill half the population with the Infinity Stones. Like both parts were. You double tricked me there, JL.
I got you with the old 1-2.
So in that case, that would be a starvation movie then.
Yeah, I think so. I think you could classify it as that.
Cool.
Sweet. No points on that one. Coop, we're back to you.
All right. Nice.
Miss it so I can steal.
Okay.
Dustin said ended, more like prevented mass starvation.
Dustin, technically right.
Maybe
right.
true.
If
I
isn't
knew,
prevention just ending it before it began?
maybe. This is a little too smart of a conversation for me.
I know, dude. We're getting as philosophical as a Lamar Jackson Instagram post over here.
Maria said, how the F are you going to tell us to watch all these movies, Coop, and you've never seen the Avengers movie?
Well, I got some. It's on my list. I was trying to watch all those things in order, and I got kind of like including the shows. So I struggled my way through Agent Carter, which was painful. And I've watched quite a bit of it, but then I kind of like stopped doing that, and then I forgot where I was, and now I have like this like weird like paralysis where I can't watch any of the new ones till I go back and watch like, I don't know, like Ant-Man or wherever I'm at. So
I hate that feeling. It also happens with TV shows. Like if you watch the first 8 episodes of a show and then you wait 3 weeks, you're like, I either have to start over or abandon it. And those are the only options.
Can't go back, dude. So now it's like I got to go back and watch like a bunch of junk before I can watch the cool ones, and it's just like,
I did before Endgame came out. I had 30 days to watch the 32 movies that came out before it. So I watched on average a little over 1 a day. Sometimes on the weekends, I'd watch like 3 in a day, and then I'd miss a day here and there. But it was actually really fun.
That was
a little bit like homework. Like there was like, but it almost made it more fun that there was like an obligation. Like you have to watch these before this day because you already have tickets to see that movie and you need to see all of them. Like there was a feeling of accomplishment associated with watching 32 movies in 30 days as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a grind.
I didn't really do much. I just sat there. But I still felt accomplished. I did it.
You did it.
Maria says none of them are junk. I promise. I promise you that Agent Carter, the TV show, is junk.
Well, yeah, the TV shows, the spin-off TV shows, you can't count that against them.
Some of them are good, like Jessica Jones.
Oh, but those are the Netflix ones. Those are decent.
Except for
Agent Carter was on Netflix, dude. But it was like the one swing of hammers Thor in a movie probably had a bigger budget than the entire show Agent Carter. Like it was basically the Secret World of Alex Mack.
I watched for a while. I watched Shield. I don't know if you guys ever watched Agents of Shield. It is so bad.
So, dude, sorry, go ahead.
It's like bad enough but it's set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so or like the Marvel universe. Yeah, it is in the MCU because they have like Samuel L. Jackson come in and like
it's very much in the MCU. Yeah,
and it's the same guy that plays. I forget his name.
Colson.
Colson.
So that's the big thing. And this is enough movies back that I'm not spoiling anything. But he's not a major character in the movies. But my favorite part is that like clearly the writers for that show and the writers for the movies were not like on the same page. Because in one of the movies, for no reason, because this guy is like in the movies, Colston is just like some orderly. He's like, you know what I mean? He's just like some dude that has no powers. He doesn't fight anything, right? In one of the movies, they were just like, oh yeah, that guy's dead. And then the show, they were like, that's like our main character. So they had to like come up with some way to like bring him back to life using like robots like that, like tickled his brain. I'm like, what is this stupid show? How like they were? I just imagine they were on vacation. They came back and they were like, they watching the movie. They're like, you did what? You killed who?
That's called the Deus Ex Machina, and they just used it to their advantage. There, you're absolutely right.
I love the superhero movie age that we're in. Like, I think it's really cool. Like, and sometimes I think about like this is like culturally something defining of our generation. Like, whenever we have children, we'll have this whole collection of superhero movies that were huge whenever we were growing up. Like, that's pretty cool. That being said, a negative, and it's something you're talking about here. I don't trust a single character death in any show or any movie because superhero movies have just broken it for everything. Yeah. No shows follow the rules anymore. That's any character that's dead can come back alive in any show. It doesn't matter if it's like Seinfeld at this point. Superhero movies have broken the rules everywhere. Like a character is being dead does not mean they're dead. Right.
Maria and I watched Arrow for a long time, and we would watch. Have you either of you watched Arrow?
I've watched the first 2 seasons of Arrow.
So that show is the perfect garbage show. It's just such garbage, and we just watch, but we couldn't stop watching. So we just watch and just shit on it the whole time. And one of the biggest things we would be like, oh my god, is there wasn't a single character they didn't bring back throughout the entire show. They bring even all the way. There's one character that was like held out. This guy Tommy who dies in like the first few episodes, like the best friend of the main character. They do a crossover episode with the Flash. Tommy's back. He's freaking Nazi Tommy because they go into like the multiverse and stuff, and it's freaking Nazi Tommy from another
That's the
universe.
best. That's the best. Yeah. Well, if you establish the multi-universes up front, then that's allowed. Like Rick and Morty, anyone can die and be back. My rule of thumb generally is that if they die on screen, they're dead. If it's implied that they're dead, but you don't see them die, then they're allowed to come back. Right? Once you get into this whole world of like magic bringing people back from the dead, I'm like, all right, that's lame. The only time it was allowed was the movie Beer Fest. If you guys have seen that, that's how you handle that situation.
What a pull!
That's how you handle that. That's the only one that I was like, yes. That was the best one.
The Beer Fest resurrection scene.
That's the best one.
The only one Coop's about.
And he's like, why don't we just skip all the awkwardness and you just call me landfill? Like that's how you do that. But
I'm not proud of it. I haven't seen The Godfather. I haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, but I have seen every single movie called Beer Fest or something similar.
Yeah.
Road Trip Beer Pong, Euro Trip Beer Pong Europe, every American Pie movie, like that entire genre.
So good.
I've seen every one of them. Like they're just so stupid. I can't stop watching them.
Beer Fest was one of those ones where like I was like, this is gonna be bad. And then I watched it and I was like, this is amazing.
This is the best.
This is the best. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get back into our game of vague descriptions here.
Okay.
Coop's next. I'm Ron Burgundy.
No.
What was the last one?
Oh no, I'm next. Yeah, because the last one
Coop's
was
up.
yours. It was the Rock movie.
The Rock movie, that's right.
The starvation film was the category.
Starvation flicks.
That's right. All right, Coop. This next one is yours.
I just thought of dude. I was going to say Schindler's List.
No, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Let's move on. Let's move on from starvation flicks. Unless this is a starvation flick category once again, then we'll have to stay.
This category is TV.
Okay, great.
And your vague description is family fights an evil monkey together.
Family fights an evil monkey together. I know of one evil monkey on TV, but only one character is fighting that monkey. Family fights an evil monkey together. Well, I'm just going to go with the one that I know off the top of my head, so I'm not wasting too much time. There is an evil monkey in the show Family Guy that the character who lives in Chris's bedroom. So I'm going to go with Family Guy.
Family Guy is incorrect. Simon.
I figured because it said family and monkey in the prompt, that was going to be too straightforward, but it's all I could think of as well, Coop. Like I'm sitting here thinking, so it is a TV show or just TV is the category and it's
TV
family?
Yeah, the category is, I guess, TV show. Family fights an evil monkey together.
Oh
Family
my God. I think I know this one now. If this is what I think it is, then I'm going to be pissed.
Family fights an evil monkey together. Is this Zaboomafoo?
This is not Zaboomafoo.
Keep going.
All right, we'll go one more round. Coop, what is it?
Dude, this show was mentioned. I think Simon just mentioned the show 5 minutes ago. Like, is this the Powerpuff Girls? And the evil monkey is him?
Oh my God.
This is the Powerpuff Girls. Well done.
Dude, I was just thinking about that, and I was like, wait a second.
I feel like I do that all the
just
time.
talked about this.
I feel like I do that all the time. I bring something up, we talk about it, and then I get a question about it, and I miss it. Lord of the Rings, Powerpuff Girls, like.
Did you edit this question in, or was that the question from yesterday?
It was there.
Shut up, dude. Powerpuff Girls came up naturally, and that was the answer because they're all sisters.
Yeah, I get it.
Because they're all sisters. Yep.
I mean,
JoJo.
I immediately thought of it, dude. Because
are they sisters if they were created in a lab?
Yes.
From Sugar Spice and Everything Nice?
Yeah.
I don't see any shared DNA in there. I just see a shared laboratory.
Don't they have the DNA of the guy?
I think they have DNA.
The father?
Of Dad?
Dad?
I don't know. I just know they got Sugar Spice and Everything Nice. That's all I'm aware of.
Well, possession arrow your way.
It was already my way.
Double secret, double automatic possession arrow now your way.
And Tim in the chat got Powerpuff Girls. So did Chungus. Well done.
Whoa,
Well done. I see
Chungus.
NKC in the chat. What up,
Whoa,
NKC?
Chungus. NKC. What up, baby?
Happy Tuesday. Today's Tuesday,
Tim,
right?
Tim said Mojo Jojo wasn't even evil, though. He succeeded in an episode and made a literal utopia. It's true. It's all how you look at it.
Triple possession arrow Simon's way.
Dustin said, family is the people you choose, Simon.
You're right.
Wow.
Dustin's right. That's the explanation I'll accept.
We will reduce your possession arrow down to double.
Okay, that's fair.
The utopia point stands.
Good point.
All
Tim.
right, Simon, we're back to you, and you are down in a hole.
I am
Oops,
3-0, right?
Or
is it 2-0? Okay,
if
cool.
I can be saved.
I think it's 2-0. I think that's
This
right.
is your show. This is your game, though, Simon. If anyone can come back, it's Robot Simon in this game.
All right, Simon, here is your next prompt. The category, again, is TV.
Oh, God.
The prompt or the vague description is family members take advantage of string theory.
Family members take advantage of string theory. So this is probably time travel. This is Rick and Morty.
This is Rick and Morty.
I knew we did once again.
I know. You guys did it twice in this conversation. And I was like, what the hell is happening?
Damn it.
Well done, Simon. That's
Quick,
good.
talk about another show. Hey, Coop, what's a movie? Let's just try to name what the next movie's going to be.
Schindler's List.
All right. I got, let's see. We got that. That's going to give you a point, Simon. And you are back in this game.
Yeehaw.
Coop, we're back to you.
Can't
You
let
ready?
him back in. I'm ready.
Oh, I got to mark that one used. All right. Coop, here's your next one. The category is meme. The vague description is anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
The category is meme,
Yeah.
like MEME.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that can go
And then
wrong.
you give us the definition for Murphy's Law.
That's what I was going to say, Murphy's Law. But that can't be. That's not a meme. That's a. Well, I guess it technically could be a meme. Is it Murphy's Law?
That's not a vague description. That's a very specific description.
It's not vague. That is the definition.
Are you going with the, is that your guess?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. This is a meme.
Okay.
I'll just let you guess it and then told you. Yeah, no.
I think that's fair though. Somebody had to guess. Somebody had to guess it. If I guessed something else and you got it, I would have felt stupid. So
A meme. What a broad and odd category. A meme. Anything that can go wrong will go
Can you imagine
wrong.
where it came from?
This is the meme. Bad Luck Brian.
This is Bad Luck Brian.
Dumb.
Well done, Simon. You're back in this game, 2-2.
I just had to transport myself back to 2008 to hit those like old school internet memes.
Cool.
Chungus in the chat got it. Said Bad Luck Brian.
Hey, Chungus.
Nice.
Good job, Chungus. Good job, Keith.
Well done, Keith. All right. We're going to speed through a
Possession
couple of these.
Possession arrow my way.
Let's
It's
see.
my turn.
Yeah.
That was your turn.
No,
No,
it's
it
my
is your
turn.
time now. It's your turn now. All right, Simon. The category is place. Your vague description is where our best friends play with each other.
Where our best friends play with each other? OU our?
O-U-R, yeah. O-U-R.
Where our best friends play with each other, and it's a place where our best friends play with each other. I don't know. Dave and Buster's?
Dave and Buster's is incorrect.
Yeah, I figured there was some play on words here, but I'm not sure what it is. While Coop's thinking, check out my sick new pop socket with blue flames on it.
Pop socket and lock it. It's pretty sweet.
That's cool. Where our best friends play with each other. What the heck? What in tarnation?
What are you thinking, Coop?
Thinking about friendship.
I was thinking about us. I was thinking about me.
We're our best friends.
Don't you dare.
Coop.
Need a guess, Coop.
I don't know, dude.
Where do our best friends play with each other? I thought it was Dave and Buster's,
I have
but
no idea, dude. I'm gonna go. I don't know. Las Vegas. What's the answer?
Las Vegas is incorrect. Simon, you want to take another shot?
I have no idea. I truly have no idea what this could be. So I'll take another shot, but it is going to be a complete shot in the dark. Where our best friends play together, I'm going to say the toilet store.
The toilet store is incorrect. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say if our best friends, all right, here's the stretch, but if our best friends are, for us collectively, if our best friends are Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne and Evan Ingram, then the answer would be Jacksonville.
Oh my God, you might have gotten it.
Jacksonville is incorrect, but
That
is nice.
Coop, you had me in.
I'm tempted to give you like a half a point. The answer to this one is Dog Park.
Oh, that's better. That's a better answer, dude. But
Dog
still,
Park. Yes.
I used my whole brain on that one.
Depends
No
on
one
the
in the
dog
chat
I'm
got
bringing.
this either.
If I bring Sancho, it's where my best friend plays. If I bring Max, it's where my best friend fights to the death. He is not good with other dogs there.
Yeah, give me the possession arrow. I'll take the possession arrow. On that. I did my best.
We got Dr. Squanch in the chat. Said, morning, boys. Morning, Dr. Squanch. Welcome in. Tim guessed football field and NKC guessed playground. Good guess. Good guesses. Good guesses.
Best friends.
I want to go to a playground.
Dog Park is so right. That's the annoying thing, because I was hoping that my answer would be better than the real answer, but the real answer was very much correct.
I wish there was a playground that was scaled to me like a playground is to a 3-year-old, not like an 8-year-old, but like the scale, like just that feeling of like, holy cow, where you look up and there's like an insurmountable wall and the monkey bars where there's like real day. Like I want to go to a playground that has the same scale as a 3-year-old to a normal playground.
That's interesting, dude, because they would never make them that big, but that would be wild, where it would really be a challenge for a full-size adult.
Wouldn't that be wild?
There's a little like half dome, or it's like a dome. You ever have that where it's like monkey bars but a dome?
Like jungle gym?
The kids aren't allowed at all.
I thought the whole thing was a jungle gym.
I always called that part the jungle gym, but I can see both.
And there's beers, and you have to sign a waiver.
Yeah, and there's beers, and you have to sign a waiver. Yeah. Let's start it out.
Sounds awesome.
It does sound
There's also laser tag and those foam pits.
Obviously.
Yeah. All right. You guys want to do one more round?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do a tie?
No, we gotta do one more.
All right, we'll go quick on this one. Coop, who is the
it's
possession
Coop's turn.
I have no idea.
Simon, you have the possession arrow?
No, I have
it's Coop's turn, and he has the possession arrow.
Okay. Coop, here's your category is football.
Yes. Love football.
And your vague description is too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Think about the draft.
Wait, you know the answer? Or are you just messing with me?
For you to figure out.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Remember how the combine works.
Shut up.
Congratulations.
When there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Wow. You guys didn't know that was me who recorded those, did you?
It didn't.
Congratulations. Except his voice doesn't crack. What's it going to be, Coop?
I don't know. Too many cooks in the kitchen. That phrase is being used. I don't know. Just going to guess. Let Russell Wilson cook. Too many cooks.
I think that's it.
I'm gonna guess the Cook brother running backs, James and Dalvin Cook. Both.
That is
touchdowns.
Incorrect. Simon.
Well, Coop, it was a valiant effort, but I think
Valiant.
I think you overthought it. I think you big brained yourself in this one. 12 men on the field.
That is correct,
Ooh,
Simon.
that's good. Good job.
That is
12
absolutely
men on the
correct.
field.
Good job. I knew you could come back. This is your game. This is your one.
It's my
Did
only
anyone
one.
in the chat get that one? Oh, War Chungus got it.
Right,
Hey,
Chungus
boy,
is the last
hey,
second.
what up, Chungus?
The old
And we got
Chungy.
Nick in the chat. It said, "Good morning, folks." What up?
What up, Nick?
Welcome, man.
What up, bro?
Oh, Dustin guessed Patriots play calling.
I thought that for a second too, but I didn't. Then I knew that wouldn't be it.
That would be a pretty good one, though.
That would be pretty good. And NKC. Oh wait, that's playground. Whoops. I always said Russell Wilson too. Followed that same thread.
Yeah.
All right, Simon. We're going into your last one here. You're starting off for us here, and the
Oh,
category
let me close the
is
chat again.
place.
Another place. The last place was the dog park. So I was thinking too specific last time. Maybe I got to open my horizons a little.
Your category is place. Your vague description is people used to fight there.
People used to fight there. The Coliseum.
That is correct, Simon. You were going to win this game.
Good job,
Hold on.
Simon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're supposed to be mad. It's less fun whenever you're like.
Well, I would have got the Coliseum too. That was too easy. I'm proud of you.
Shout out Keith.
Possession arrow. Coop's way. Coop. Great effort. Keith and JL. Great game. And Dustin in the chat, I'm seeing got that one as well. And NKC with the column. Shorten it up. You can still call it the column. You got it right there as well. Coming up, we're going to recap this Monday Night Football game and then play a new game called Texas Rangers. And we're going to answer some of Reddit's biggest questions that they've got for us. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Better Sports Network.
Can't miss Mitch is hanging out with Rick Kamla here. He's with Roster Watch. I want to let you know something here, my friend. I'm a listener. I'm a seeker of knowledge, okay? And I know it sounds cheesy if I said I'm a seeker of wisdom, but I am. And Mitch, I've learned a lot from our interviews here on Better Sports Network. Because what you just said is something that I've had to work through in my dome. This has been my first time with a full-time gig in the betting space, right? I've dabbled in and I've bet a million times, but as a on a huge platform here with the betting analysis. And so I'm learning, I'm evolving, I'm accumulating information and wisdom. And through what you've been telling me, trust the data, right? It's been like working on me. And a lot of times I talk my way out of a winner, Mitch. And it's about just trusting, like, okay, so if I got a vibe on a player in a big time basketball game and it's a superstar showdown and all this kind of stuff, and I have a predetermined vibe and I go in and I look, and every single indicator that I look at is under. Why am I going to go over? Just follow the numbers and listen to the data. And guess what, can't miss Mitch? I have been doing that, and I've been missing out a lot of NBA props because of blowouts, load management, and all that stuff. Is that a complaint? But I've hit a couple of unders recently that didn't feel good, can't miss Mitch, right? They didn't feel good at all.
Unders never feel good.
They don't feel good, but I said all of the trends say under, so I'm going under, and I hit on them both. And I literally thought of you when I hit on those, man, but this is really sound advice for everybody out there, isn't it?
It really is, and sometimes it's hard. If you want to gamble, gamble. That's when you can do dumb It really is. Have fun at the roulette table. That's gambling. If you want to actually try and have sustainability, sports betting, you've got to have a system that's backed by data. And you've got to find the data that correlates to scoring points and what the opposing points are going to score against them as well. It's not hard. All the data is out there. You've got to just play with the numbers, and you got to continue to stick with that system, back test it, play with it, and then you're a sports bettor. You're not gambling.
Talk sports with Lisa Ann and Rick Kamla, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Better Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, back with John, Luke, and Coop on Tuesday, January 17th. Wildcard weekend is done, which means we're into the divisional round. But we had one game last night, the last game of Wildcard weekend. The Cowboys beating the Buccaneers 31-14 to move on to the divisional round. And Coop, you got the Cowboys score right yesterday. You predicted a 31-28 game here, but the Buccaneers didn't quite live up to the offensive expectations that you thought they were going to.
Yeah, they couldn't quite hang. Tom Brady's throwing quite a few bounce passes last night, it seems. So I don't know. The Cowboys are my pick to win the whole thing. I some of my predictions were wrong throughout yesterday, but the team I picked to win it all looks pretty strong. We'll see what happens.
Luke, were you surprised by the outcome of this game, by it being so lopsided in Dallas's favor?
Maybe I was surprised by the degree of which it was a blowout, but not surprised by the Cowboys winning. They seemed like the more holistic team coming into this game. We were talking about it yesterday. Both teams had their risks, but that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense just has not been able to really get it working consistently this year. So not super surprised by the outcome of the game, although I am surprised by the severity of it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be closer for sure. I thought the Bucs were going to pull it out, but you guys are right. Watching this game yesterday, I do think the better team's advancing to play the 49ers in that next round. And that's going to be an exciting game. But
that game's going to be lit.
Cowboys-Niners, I'm excited for that one.
Purdy, Prescott.
Battle of the Peas, the PP battle.
So I want to ask about this PP battle. The 49ers are, because I was thinking about this question this morning. I think it's an interesting question. 49ers are 4-point favorites, right, at home. Let's say everything stayed the same and you swapped the quarterbacks for these teams. And now Brock Purdy is the quarterback for the Cowboys and Dak Prescott's the quarterback for the 49ers. What do you guys think the spread would be?
I think the spread goes more in favor of the 49ers, but not because they added Dak Prescott, because the Cowboys have to start Brock Purdy. And I think the 49ers have one of the most quarterback-friendly systems in the entire NFL that they can plug Brock Purdy in and have him find this kind of success. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to disparage Purdy. He's looked incredible, but he's still a 7th-round rookie, and I'm not sure that Cowboys team and that Cowboys line is good enough for Purdy to find the same level of success. I think this 49ers team with Dak Prescott under center is marginally better, but not insanely better.
So you don't think it goes all the way up to like a full touchdown, but maybe it's now 5 or 6 instead?
Yeah. I could even see 7, right? I could see 7, but I think it's not moving a ton.
What do you think, Jail?
Yeah, I agree with Simon on this. I don't know that Brock Purdy's that much of a downgrade. I think the biggest thing to me I'd be worried about just his confidence. Like, he doesn't have a wealth of experience to draw on here. And if that confidence gets just rattled by being on, in the Cowboys, basically if the 49ers offense is really being supportive for Purdy, then I'd be concerned.
I think that's legit. I mean, I'm with you guys that it wouldn't change dramatically because these teams are good, right? The rest of the teams are good. It's not like a situation where it's just one guy and that's the whole thing. But I do think, personally, I would rather have Dak Prescott than Purdy right now.
Yeah,
because he's a proven commodity.
In a vacuum, give me Dak Prescott for sure.
Well, I'm gonna ask Twitter what they think about that one. I want to see what the maniacs out there think.
Well, and Dak looked pretty freaking good yesterday. 305 yards, 4 touchdowns, getting it done. 2 to Dalton Schultz, tight ends. Tight ends are showing up in the playoffs, it feels like, Coop.
Funny, dude, because all year long people told me that tight ends don't matter and tight ends suck and that we should remove them from fantasy football. We should be mean to them and we should be mean to people that like them. That's just what I was told. But it seems that tight ends make the world go round. Is that not the case?
They at least made wildcard weekend go round in this game. Dalton Schultz, 7 receptions, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns. How are you viewing him going into next year, Coop? Is he in that upper echelon of tight ends or maybe in that like second tier of guys separated from the glob?
So for me, there's the guys that are the focal points of their offense. And so in Dynasty, you want that. You want guys that you are known focal points and then you know it's going to be steady. So like for me, Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews and even George Kittle, like what can those teams really do that would take away from the tight end. You know what I mean? Like, how could the Ravens go out? There's not even really any good free agent wide receivers, and any rookie they pick might not have a mega impact right away. So I just don't see how they would change that. There are some guys where what happens in the offseason to me is going to dictate where that guy ends up. And Dalton Schultz is one of those guys where if they were to go out and add another, like, drafted the wide receiver in the first round, and now it's CeeDee Lamb and this guy and Michael Gallup, now all of a sudden I don't like Dalton Schultz so much. Same goes for TJ Hawkinson, where if they were to add another guy, and now Adam Thielen can be the third wide receiver, it hurts him. So I think he falls into that group where he's very dependent on. I mean, he might not even be on the team. He's on the franchise tag this year. So he could go somewhere else. So for him, it really depends. Is he a top 2 target on his team, or what's his role? So Dalton Schultz for me, up in the air still to a certain degree.
It's a wait and see. That talent's not enough to just tell you no matter where he is, he's going to be the bomb. Like with Travis Kelce, we don't care if he's going to be on another team wherever he is. It's the same thing.
Exactly. There's certain guys they've made themselves the focal point, have their own skill set that goes above and beyond it. And even my boy Evan Engram, he falls in that category too. He's on a 1-year deal. If he ends up back with the Jaguars and now they keep Zay Jones and Christian Kirk and add Calvin Ridley, I'm not sure I'll even be on Evan Engram again. Like, that's how it goes in this league. You need that window of opportunity where you're the man, right?
Yeah. We're getting a report from Dustin here in the chat, and I just Googled it. I'm seeing the same thing, that the Bucs are expected to be fired, or Byron Leftwich, offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, is getting fired. So that could mean maybe they're keeping Todd Bowles around and changing up the staff around him. Usually whenever you start seeing these coordinators fired in situations like this, a lot of times it's the team saying, we're going to keep the head coach, but you got to change what's going on around you.
Yeah, it's possible. I think that would, yeah. I think it's very possible. It'll be interesting to see how this Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization really transitions over this offseason.
I mean, if Tom Brady's gone, I don't know what they're going to do at the quarterback position. This team was already rough this year. I don't know if it was coaching or what happened, but man, that could be a real rough division next year if Tom Brady's gone from this team.
Yeah.
I don't see the Falcons or Panthers taking a big jump in the next year. And the Saints are in a relatively rough position right now as well. So that could just be a gross division for years to come. Maybe we get some more. Maybe the Buccaneers make the playoffs anyways without Tom Brady next year, whoever's starting a quarterback. I think one of the big questions all fantasy managers are going to be asking all offseason, and maybe it's shifted the other way, is the Tony Pollard versus Ezekiel Elliott debate. Pollard definitely outplayed him in this game. 15 carries, 77 yards. Zeke, 13 carries for 27 yards. JL, going into next season, how are you viewing Zeke and Pollard? Is Pollard the one for you now, or is it still Zeke?
Still Zeke, but this is going to be a split. This is going to be a split between these two guys. Zeke is still under contract for at least another season. I think we will probably start to see some shifting of workload, or maybe it shifts slightly, but I think Jerry Jones is buyer's remorse. Not buyer's remorse. I think he's bought in. He spent the money. He wants to use it.
And this is under the assumption that Pollard is back, right? Because Pollard is a free agent.
Yes.
So it's under the assumption that he's back next year.
I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody throw a bag at Pollard. You know what I mean? Like the Cowboys, if they pay Pollard big money and retain Zeke, or even if they were to cut Zeke, like if you cut Zeke and you're still gonna have 11 mil in dead cap, almost 12 mil, right? So even if you trade him, there's no escaping that. It's already on the books. So you're gonna then it's whatever you pay Pollard plus what you're paying Zeke. They could, if you cut Zeke and sign Pollard, you're paying $20 million for just Pollard, basically, right? So, I don't see a world where that happens, to be honest. So it's either I think it's more realistic that Pollard walks and they try and draft somebody and go 1-2 punch than it is for them to cut Zeke and keep Pollard. I think if anything, they find a way to keep Pollard and have them both.
Dustin agreeing with you, says no way Pollard is back, at least on that front. They can't wrap up that much money in both Zeke and Pollard. It would be a ton of money to see him wrap up there. But that 1-2 punch works pretty well for that offense. Pollard and Zeke is a pretty electric duo they got.
Right. Like now the real question is Pollard good on his own, or is he good in this offense? Because we've seen Pollard type players have good seasons and then go sign elsewhere, and then they're just kind of okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to gauge them apples to apples, but Kenyon Drake had some great seasons, then went to new teams and wasn't that great. Chase Edmonds looked pretty good. They, got paid a decent chunk of money
Tevin Coleman
by the Dolphins and did nada. Yeah, Tevin Coleman was awesome on the Falcons. Then he went, got paid elsewhere and didn't really do much. Like, we'll have to see. He has a great skill set, but his skill set, the ceiling for his skill set, I think, is Austin Eckler, where you saw it with the Chargers this week. Eckler, great catching the ball, great in space, not that good up the middle, right? And we've seen seasons. Pollard just a year ago or 2 years ago, he essentially led the league in runs that went for 0 or negative yards. That is the one aspect of his game where he struggles, is the short yardage. So we'll see what happens with him.
We got Ernie in the chat saying Pollard is going to be my number 1 fantasy running back next year. JL, do you think that's a little rich for Earn Dog there, putting him in number 1?
I think that's why, Ernie? Why?
Well, it depends where he goes.
Number 1, Ernie? Number 1? You kidding me?
If a team fully commits to him and they have a good line and stuff, like what if
over CMC?
What if he goes to like the Dolphins to be the main dog, the only dog?
Still Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley.
CMC. Or Jonathan Taylor.
All right, Earn Dog. You gotta call in, Earn Dog, and tell us what the heck is going on.
Tell me I'm an idiot.
I mean,
there's.
You just said his ceiling is Austin Eckler, so we see that the ceiling is number 1 overall running back possible because Eckler can do that. But that's a lot of assumptions and a lot of things that need to change on a new team to have him ranked there.
Well, if somebody pays him.
Eckler is the opportunity that he's gotten over the last few years, right? Like Austin Eckler is amazing, but the opportunity is what sets him apart. And so Pollard would have to get that level of opportunity, which is like we just haven't really seen that.
Is rare.
The catching, it's catching like 100 passes, right?
Like how many running backs catch that many receptions?
Like in standard, Eckler isn't the RB1. He wasn't there. He was like RB4. Right.
Right.
It's everyone plays PPR now, so that's everything. In PPR, he was the RB1.
I kind of like that comp though, because like I think it puts this a bit into perspective for us in terms of like Austin Eckler's talent and just like talent versus opportunity, right? It's like Pollard is probably just as talented as Austin Eckler, if not close, just physical ability.
We've seen this show before with Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler, where Melvin Gordon is Zeke and Eckler is and Tony Pollard's Eckler. This exact show we've seen. And I'm just saying that the Chargers had this game won and they could not run the football up the middle. Both Eckler and Josh Kelly looked bad, running for under 3 yards a carry. And that's honestly, they would have won if they had Zeke, they might have won the game. Just a guy that you need to have that guy that can run the ball when the other team knows you're going to run.
Jerry Jones texts that to whoever the owner of the Chargers is after the game. If you
gotcha.
Zeke, you would have won.
Right. Well, the thing is, the way the contract's set up is that it's 11.8 million no matter what. They can't escape. Sometimes you can get away with sometimes they're set up where if you trade a guy, you save more money. In this case, not really. They're kind of set. They made the decision.
Classic.
We gonna see.
We're bringing up the Chargers.
I hope Pollard is the number 1 RB next year, though, so Earn Dog can pop back in and be like, "Yo, shut up,
suck it."
That Earn Dog victory lap. I'm already waiting for it.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
A year from now, remind me, Ernie. Oh, he will. He's got it written down on his calendar already. Ready to go. We're talking a bit about the Chargers there because of Austin Eckler, but I did just want to bring up, I'm seeing reports or rumors that the Chargers are too cheap to fire Brandon Staley and that they're going to just try to revamp that coaching staff, like the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator side of the ball there, but that Staley may stay on as the Chargers head coach because the organization doesn't want to cough up the money for a top tier head coach like Sean Payton. You guys buying into that?
I can see it.
Yeah, I don't know. See it. How do you guys feel about, okay, so here's the thing. The precedent was set with Bill Belichick being traded for a first-round pick, and then he turned into Bill Belichick. But do you guys think it's worth it to trade a first-round pick for a head coach, even if it's Sean Payton? A first-round pick.
I think it depends on the team. I really do think it depends on the team.
I think there's situations where it does make sense. I think that's just strategically, this picks are currency, and there's a situation where acquiring a certain head coach for your team will make your team better than that pick. So I think there are situations where it does make sense. I think those situations are somewhat limited. I don't think they occur very often, or like the right circumstances to where it makes sense. And we kind of talked about the last time we brought this up, right?
What about if you're
coach coming into like a worse situation, right? They're like accepting a new job where they're already hamstrung.
Let's say you had in the past run an offense with Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara and saw a lot of success, and then you were to take over an offense with Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler. Like, let's say hypothetically, would that kind of situation make sense? And the coach promised that he wouldn't retire again, and he promised that he wouldn't send any bad emails that would get him fired.
I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense for the Chargers. What is their offensive line situation leaving this season?
They just hit on a first round left tackle that's probably going to be there. They'll probably pick up a 5th-year option. He was a rookie this year, but Rashawn Slater is awesome.
Right. But the rest, do they have the rest of the guys locked up? Are they good on that front?
They have Corey Linsley locked up.
Corey Parson.
They have Corey Parson locked up, dude. And they truly believe that Babe Ruth never existed. He's just a myth. They have Corey Linsley locked up for another 3 years after this year. I think they stole that guy from the Steelers, who's very good.
It makes way more sense for a team like the Chargers than it does for a team like the Broncos, I think. Like the Broncos, whenever I look at them, they've got glaring holes on that offensive line they need to address. They already traded away a lot of their picks, right? They've got the 1 pick back from Miami for Bradley Chubb that they could trade for Sean Payton. But then what? They have no 1st or 2nd round pick this year to address any of the other holes, but they've got Sean Payton. Like, I don't like that move for the Broncos. For the Chargers, I could see it. And then the other sleeper team I could see making that move is a team that I feel like has been doing their rebuild so correctly with all the pieces they're accumulating. And I know Sean Payton said he doesn't want to go to a rebuild, but the Houston Texans, I feel like, are actually doing a good job of setting up for this rebuild. And that would be like either the Chargers or the Texans as the team I would want to go to if I was Sean Payton.
Yeah, definitely going. So now looking at it, I forgot they also drafted Zion Johnson out of Boston College last year. So their line is looking pretty decent. They're probably going to have to get a left guard. They also, it's worth noting that Rashawn Slater missed this last game. They had activated him where he would have been, if they had won, he would have been potentially playing the next game, but he didn't even play. So they were missing their best offensive lineman for this Jaguars game.
Probably affected the outcome a bit there. I'm fine with trading a pick for a coach. It's not I don't think it makes sense for every team, but I do think it can make sense. But that goes back to Sean Payton is a top tier coaching candidate, right? He's going to require the big bucks as far as head coaches go to bring him onto your staff. And the Chargers are a team that plays in another team's stadium. They're not known for being the team that's willing to spend up. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure I see it happening, but it makes sense.
Yeah, their owner's kind of a jerk.
A little bit of a jerk. Guys, coming up, we've got some more games we're going to play. We're going to play a new game called Texas Ranges, and then we are going to answer some questions from Reddit, the most important questions from Reddit. We got the answers for you right now. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
AutoZone.
Join Corey Nando and friends presented by Mayo Media weekdays at 3 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
You teased me about this before the show. That you've gone nuts with ticket stubs over the last.
And like I said, I texted you last week, right? So I started out just going through and tripping off and looking for some Dallas Cowboy things. I was telling my son that there was a game and we allowed him to. We said, listen, this Washington Redskins thing is aggravating me. 5 years old. You're going to pick a team today and stick with it. Whoever wins the game is going to be your team. Washington won the game. And I started thinking about it. It'd be cool to have something from that game. There's a ticket stub for it, right? So when I found this, I started finding more ticket stubs, Nando, and I was like, this is pretty interesting stuff right here, right? So then the next one I kind of caught my eye was another Washington-Dallas game where
I hope these are like $11 ticket stubs here, man, because like there's no significance to these at all except for Corey Parson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not much. So I ended up getting the last time they were called the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
They played the Cowboys.
All right.
Scoop that up for like $4. You know what I'm saying?
Smart.
Now, here's something I got last night. $12, right? You may think this is cool. You might not. Kevin Durant's last game as a Texas Longhorn.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
How about this? The Fab Five versus Duke in the national championship.
That's a good one. $30.
Coach K's second championship, $35.
All right, not bad. Tyler in the background's talking about the Redskins Cowboys scab game. The Redskins won on Monday Night Football in '87. That's
an interesting one right there. That's a classic. How
Hogan
about this
versus
one?
Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3's got it. I bet you that's a $450 ticket at least.
I'm about to tell you about a wrestling one I saw on here. I bought this one just because of how cool it is right here. 1986 Monday Night Football, Washington and Dallas. Check out the ticket.
Tom Landry?
Tom Landry on the ticket.
Nice.
$2
That's a piece of art.
right there. Yeah, it's a piece of art.
That's a piece
you know
of
what
art.
I'm saying?
What are you going to do with
Landry
these?
on the ticket. I have no clue yet. I know I got to figure it out. I'm going to have them. That's what I'm going to do with them. So listen to this one that I saw, right? I saw the ticket from remember when Stone Cold Steve Austin drove the beer truck down to the ring and pulled out the beer hose and sprayed the rock within
That's
the
after my time.
I saw that one, Denver at the Pepsi Center. That ticket, Nando, was online. $850. If I had $850, I would have bought that one, Nando. You know what I'm saying? That one, because that was a legendary Stone Cold moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's things like that. I think the ticket thing, Nando, obviously you want to taste the big items, but I think it lies in what's important to you.
Join Corey, Nando, and Friends, presented by Mayo Media, weekdays at 3 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. We're about to get into a new game called Texas Rangers. Before we do that, though, I see Scott Fish in the chat saying, hi, holy crap, Disney is backpack scouting heaven. Bye. And
if you're looking for a new backpack, I just recently, before I went on my honeymoon, did a very deep dive. Borderline getting into Simon's world of deep and dangerous analysis paralysis, where you've done so much research you can't possibly make a decision.
Or you end up buying an $85 bath mat after you research bath mats for 6 months.
Oh yeah, dude. This backpack is not cheap. It's in the $350 range, but I bought multiple very expensive backpacks, kind of scoped them all out, checked them all out, returned a couple of them, but the Minal, Minaal carry-on 3.0 backpack is like the coolest backpack. Like, it's so cool that I just sit there and I grab my wife and I'm like, look at this part. Have you seen this part? She's like, yes, you showed me that it does that part. But it is a very cool backpack. So if you're looking for a backpack out there for all types of travel, that one, super dope. Super dope.
Oh,
Minal carry-on 3.0.
It is sleek is what this backpack is. It is just a sleek backpack.
Way more money than anyone should spend on a backpack. But I justified it by being like, oh, well, I'm going to Europe. You know, you got a backpack in Europe. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what's it called, Coop?
Minal, it's Minaal carry-on 3.0.
The Minal carry-on 3.0. Oh, this thing's
I got a medical device.
Dude, it's dope. And it opens all the way. I think I have it right here on the ground. I have it right here.
So, Coop, my travel backpack also has the open all the way up to the bottom thing, which is incredible, but I don't think it has all the other fancy features.
Dude, it's got this cool thing where you can, like, so when you're traveling, it's got this thing here that comes out, and you can zip all the way up the straps so that it, like, folds all the way inside. So if you want to put it under your seat or up in the compartment, like, the straps are literally completely tucked in here.
They don't have to get trapped around your feet under the seat in front of you while you're riding on the airplane.
No traps happening here.
So
and
I just so happened to be in the market for a new backpack. So this is a good time.
I already did all the research, dog. This is the one. I can walk you through the whole all the nooks and crannies of this pup.
And
zippers, top notch.
I'm gonna give a backpack travel pet peeve of mine. If I have to gate check my bag and I'm walking through and I see your little backpack up in the carry-on, like overhead bins, I am death glaring you on the way by. Like if I have to gate check my bag, if I have to go through baggage claims because you couldn't put your tiny little backpack under your seat, like they say before you board every single flight, they say small bags store under your seat, small bags store under your seat. And if you take your little purse and you put it up there, now I have to gate check my bag because of that. That's inconsiderate.
What if they are traveling with 2 small bags, 2 small backpacks?
Well, then one goes above, one goes below. But usually I see people walking with one little purse, throw it up there in the thing.
What do they do during the flight?
If you have two bags, my opinion on that is if you have 2 bags, then you can check one of those bags. You should already in advance be like, if they're going to make me check a bag, it's going to be this one. I'm going to put all my chargers and my iPad and my candy and my Jack Daniels nips and my tissues and my chapstick and my chargers. I'm going to put them all in this one bag. And then I'm going to bring that one on the plane. And the other one, I'm going to check. You shouldn't have 2 bags, where you should be prepared to part with one of your bags.
And I see Jay saying, sorry, I want my leg room. This is what it comes down to with all these airplane arguments, with the reclining your seat, with the bags in the overhead bins instead of under your chair. Yeah, you're allowed to do all of it. I'm like, and the argument is like, well, I'm allowed to. I paid for it. Yeah, 100%. That's not the argument I'm making. I'm talking about being considerate to others and their space and their comfort and their time on the plane. If your requirements are you're allowed to, yeah, you're allowed to fart loudly during a funeral as well, but it's still rude.
Or during a flight.
Or during a flight, it's still rude.
So the overhead one, I can understand a little bit more because I'm not really thinking about, like, if especially if I'm not checking a bag, I'm not going through it. Like, I'm not listening to what they're talking about with, oh, if someone wants to check their bag at the gate, we'll give you a $25 coupon or whatever. It's like, I don't think about that as much, but I agree with the premise of what you're saying, Simon. I just wasn't even aware that was something people would be upset about.
It upsets me every time. Every time I have to go through baggage claim, I'm thinking about all the people who put their little purses and backpacks up in the overhead bin.
The reclining does piss me off, though. I get really annoyed. I'll sit there and kick your seat for however long the flight is if you recline all the way on me.
In one of the flights, because we had multiple in Europe, somebody put this huge, long, round bag up in the thing that was taking the entire overhead spot, and I was like, "What could this possibly be?" So me being me, I couldn't just keep it. I sat on this. It was like, a Europe flight, so it was like an hour and a half. And I sat the entire time. I was like, "What the fuck is in that bag?" And then we finally were getting off, and he pulled it down, and I was like, "Oh, that's
is that a printing press?"
Like, what is that, dude? It was a set of cymbals, like the big clang cymbals. Yeah, but he's like, I didn't trust them to go. You know what I mean? And
it's fair.
Thinking about it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't trust them with my cymbals either. But like, I was like, what is this round thing he's got here? I need to know.
It's these airlines. They pit us against each other because really it's their fault. There's not enough room.
Oh,
because
100%.
They could choose to have I worked for Boeing. You can customize everything. You can customize every decision on that plane.
They have to make
here's where the airline is the enemy, but we are together. We don't have to fight each other. And so we can work together to make it the most comfortable experience possible for each other. Right. Like, and if you're actively fighting me while the airline is also actively fighting me, it's just going to be miserable for everyone.
Yeah. You can count on people thinking of themselves. So
100% of the time.
The worst are the people that stand up. It's okay if you stand up the moment the plane lands, but if you try and advance forward, that's when I got to stand up and put my finger on your chest and be like, excuse me.
It's just a funny way to funny place, like area to try and like grind out an edge of time.
Yeah.
Like there's so many other areas of your life you could probably save way more time that's useful, but you're trying to save the like 45 seconds to get out of the plane.
One of my favorite moments was my dad and I flew back from the Netherlands, 8-hour flight. We were on this plane the whole time. People stand up to try to rush off the plane like they always do. The gate was locked. They couldn't get it open. So everyone stood up, could not get back to their seats. It took 2.5 hours to get us off that plane. So I imagine
they stand the whole time.
Some people tried to get back, but it was the classic like push to the front. Like, so people were stuck standing for the entire 2.5 hours.
I would be so mad that I was there, but I'd be so happy.
That's exactly how it was.
I would have made it all worth it. I would have sat there. I would have
been like, keep it locked.
I would have taken all me and my wife's bags. I would have taken them all and put them all in the aisle so they couldn't possibly get back to their seat. I would have built a wall. I would have built a wall. Yeah, build that wall. Trumped it up, dude.
I will say, when I flew Valeris in Mexico, I remember like almost crying. I was so happy with the way they deboarded that plane. From the middle, they opened the front and the back of the plane. Then from the middle, they had their flight attendants stand in front of rows to let people know when it was time for them to get off and go the other direction. So and it was so fast, so smooth. Everybody got off nicely. And I got off the plane and I was like, that was beautiful. That was art, what I just witnessed.
I love that.
Crazy.
I love order.
Sometimes.
Yeah, Trenton in the chat said, does it count? Is it still rude if no one hears it? Can they smell the fart?
I think it's rude,
but not necessarily of you, because there's plausible deniability. It is inconsiderate, but you may not face the consequences if it doesn't make a noise.
It's still rude.
It's cowardly.
It's still rude. Yeah.
Cowardly, inconsiderate.
Brave men fart loud.
Fart loud and stare them in the eyes.
Yeah. That's actually hilarious, though.
Brave men rip stinkers.
Yeah.
And they own them.
Cowards have the little silent stinkers.
If you're a real man, you're just like, yep, that was me, dude. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I've told you guys this before. I fall asleep on airplanes like before the plane takes off most times. I don't sleep most other places, but on airplanes, I'm out. And I know I fart in my sleep. And like every time I wake up on an airplane, my immediate thought is embarrassment, because I just know, like without a doubt, I ripped a couple loud ones on that flight. Like I just know it. I have no proof because like I'm asleep, but I know for sure I'm ripping them. Like there's no way I'm not.
You know, because you wake up and everybody's looking at you like.
It's like
I try to make small talk and they're just kind of like, yeah, cool.
You farted while you were sleeping.
Being the stinky dude is not cool.
Stinky boy.
So you guys know how I had jury duty the other day?
I do know how you had jury duty the other day.
Well, they sit you in this room on these like wooden church pews for an hour and a half. And we're sitting there, and at one point, we're packed in. There's like an old dude next to me, a lady next to me. She's talking the whole time. And at some point, I leaned over to grasp my backpack, and one slipped out. But we're on the hard church pew, and so it's just like.
Oh no! Dude. You dropped a machine gun, Kelly.
And I just casually, I'm like, oh, okay. I lean up. I lean back. I put my arms up, and I'm like, yep, that was me.
What's up?
That was me. What's up?
Did it actually go like like that?
Oh yeah, it was
the machine gun smelly. Actually, yeah.
The machine gun smelly.
The machine gun smelly. It's a classic fart type. It's great.
Yeah.
Kevin saying jail brought a snare drum to the courthouse.
Yeah.
There was one sophomore year of college. Tim and I took a yoga class together. Clemson offered leisure skills classes, 1 credit hour courses, and it was a nice break in the middle of a Tuesday. Like in between classes, we had a 1 credit hour yoga class, and we'd go and take it. And there was a move we were trying to do where you basically like balanced your knees on your elbows, and you would like your head was above the ground. So you're like up in the air, and I'm trying so hard to get into this. And I just rip one so loud. And then right next to me, I hear crash followed by laughter, because Tim started laughing so hard that he just crashed into the ground in this like complicated yoga pose.
Oh my
and just
God.
peeing himself laughing. And then the girl that I had asked on a date like not more than 15 minutes prior was right next to me on the other side.
Oh man, dude, that's a big
like,
test.
Nice.
You put her to the test right away, dude.
She's like, man, that's some high octane stuff right
Hey,
there.
want to go out to eat? Here's a sneak preview.
You eat some of that Clemson blue cheese?
I gotta. She's like,
I tasted my mouth.
I gotta go. She dropped out of school, not just class, but
Move back home.
the teacher on the syllabus the first day should make it clear that like if you're feeling like that, that should be an excused absence. Nobody should be put. Nobody
This
should
was
be
the kind
put
of
in that
teacher who would have been like, her name was Phaedra, and Phaedra would have been like, farts are beautiful. They're part of your human experience. Let them free. Like that's the kind of yoga instructor it was.
Yeah, she definitely would have been like, "That's some bad energy." That happens, and she's like, "I smell we have some bad energy escaping today."
I smell evil leaving the body.
The cleanse is underway.
Don't know the power of the dark side.
But Phaedra does. No, but for real, Phaedra would come in and you'd be like, I'd be struggling to get into a position because I'm not flexible. And she would come up and like touch my back and my body would like melt into the right pose. She had some sort of weird
Wizardry.
touch, some weird yoga wizardry that she was pulling off.
Dang. Coop, this backpack's $350.
Well,
What the hell?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Like,
Why are we Ira and the douche all of a sudden?
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, here's the thing about it being. Here's the thing about it being $350. Here's the thing about it being $350 is that the strap that goes over your shoulder, which I mean, if you're gonna get this, you gotta get the strap. That doesn't come with it, so it's essentially $400.
You gotta pay more?
Well, you're not gonna not get the strap. I mean, if you're
$50 for a strap?
I'm fairly confident the strap is $50, and half the pictures of it have the strap there, so you need the strap. You're gonna get.
So you're really they're setting you up for disappointment.
Yeah, I didn't buy the attachable hip pads because I'm not, if I go.
It said this backpack has DLC. Yeah, this backpack has DLC.
Yeah, this is a subscription. I'm just telling you, this backpack's dope as hell. You can put your laptop and your iPad in
It
there.
stops unzipping if you stop paying the subscription price.
Yeah. Oh no, these zippers.
It just starts letting your stuff out the bottom, but not telling you.
You're walking and just shoot your credit card out the back.
Your AirPods get launched into the seat in front of you.
As part of this honest review, I will say the one thing that's not like amazing is the water bottle holder. It could have some more like it could have some more tension to it. That's it. But yeah, that expensive backpack. That backpack traveled all of Europe and it was perfect. So besides the water bottle holder, which was just okay.
Gave that backpack the trip of its life.
Dude, we went on a journey together, me and that bad boy. We had some hungover mornings.
Never been to Europe.
I've never been. Papa. What is it, grandpapa? But yeah. So yeah,
Wait,
buy
that
that
person's
backpack.
never been to Europe. Let me just be clear, right, real quick.
Simon Grunewald.
I am a backpack.
I am a backpack, yeah.
From North Carolina.
I've never been.
Grandpapa, put me on your back.
From Mexico, that gentleman.
It's from Guadalajara. That gentleman, born and raised.
What is it?
He's
That's
ready to
him.
give
That's
you
him
a
when
new-
that's him when the dude in front of him falls asleep and farts on the plane.
Grandpapa.
Oh,
Man
grandpapa.
made
What is that
smelly.
smell?
It's
Smelly in my face.
So he did a machine gun smelly.
It smells like beef stroganoff in here.
Someone tries to make a silent fart, and he's like, "It was this guy."
The papa, he did a sleepy stroganoff.
All right, you guys ready to get into our new game?
Let's do it. You're gonna have to tell me how it works, though.
It's called
I have
sleepy-
not
it's called
told these guys
sleepy stroganoff.
anything. It's called Texas Ranges. Texas Ranges is our brand new game we're trying out today. Here's how it works. Contestants are given a prompt asking for a specific number. Each must guess a number range. If the answer is in your range, you get a point.
Ooh.
Additionally, if you have the smallest range out of all the contestants, you get even more points. You'll get 3 points instead of 1 point.
So we're trying to capture the actual number within a range, and we can both get points, but whoever has the smaller one's going to get 3.
Yes.
If you guessed it exactly, how many points you get?
Well, that would be a
3
range
still.
of 1, so it would still be 3, right?
Oh, I thought we were doing a specific number and a range.
No, just the range.
All right.
I'm going to give you a prompt that has a specific number missing from it, essentially.
I might need to rewind on YouTube and listen to the rules this time. I was looking at the backpacks. I was looking at pictures
you'll
of
get
my
it
own
once we get into
backpack
it.
online, even though it's right behind me.
Even though you know everything about it.
Even though it's right
You're
here,
like,
I'm
yeah, I'm going to buy it again.
I'm still looking at it online. Yeah.
All right. You'll get it once we get in there. It's very easy. The first prompt.
Do we go in an order?
You both are going to give me a range before I reveal.
So, but the order might matter because the second person has an advantage, so we alternate who goes first.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. All right, here's your prompt. The deepest point on Earth is the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, which is blank feet below sea level.
Oh, dude, I just saw people talking about this. I just literally
I'm gonna
because
close the chat in the comments.
they
The deepest
found
point on Earth is. Go ahead.
they found there's a picture of some they were like sent something down there, and there was like a little like drone down there looking around, and there was a friggin' beer bottle down there. Yeah, like this is like a week ago or like probably a couple days ago. I don't know.
Who was drinking beers down there?
Somebody was crushing beers down there. Bruh.
Bush latte just it's Gardner Minshew. He's living down there.
Down
You
there,
see his
though.
bus down there.
Beep beep.
Yeah, the beer bottle was somehow less surprising than the full-sized converted prison bus that was right next to it.
They found a beer bottle and a hammock and like a pair
And a
of
giant tapestry.
pair of jorts. Yeah,
And four empty packs
Tie-dye
of Newport menthols just sitting on the ground as well.
yeah. I did, JL. That's a good point. I don't know where Minshew's gonna live next, but I know that the doors are gonna be made of like beads.
The beads, yeah. Every wall is gonna have a tapestry.
Every wall's gonna have like a glowing felt poster of like a frog,
And mushrooms.
and mushrooms and frogs, and like a little gnome smoking a pipe. Yeah.
He just lives in a mellow mushroom.
All right, what are we talking about again? The trench.
All right, so the deepest point on Earth is the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, which is blank feet below sea level. You guys need to give me a number range.
Who's going first?
Simon, you were going first on this one.
Okay. I don't know why I have a false sense of confidence here that I have a general idea, but I haven't seen this number in a long time. I'm going to say between 14,000 and 16,000 feet below sea level.
14,000 to 16,000.
That's the
Correct.
range I'm going to give. I
Dude,
hope so.
I want to say that like the deepest part of the ocean is so insanely deep, though.
Like I'm way
14
undershooting it.
It's way deeper than a mile, but a mile is only 5,000. Miles 5,000.
A mile's 525,600 minutes.
Oh yeah, everything's a Rent song. We talked
Yeah.
about that yesterday, I believe. All right, in terms of Rent songs, so would you say 14,000 to what?
16,000.
That's so oddly specific. I'm gonna say my range will be 17. My range will be 16,001. I'm just gonna say deeper than whatever you said. So 16,001.
It's not how this game works.
You can overlap with my range if you want.
I don't want
You
to
can overlap it, but there's no like Simon can still get points.
Why? If it's
Both people can get points if it's within their range.
right, so I'm just saying, like, I think Simon went too shallow. So if I can lock up points by saying 16,001 to 1,000,000 as my range, right?
Well, then you might as well say 1 to 1,000,000 and just get your
Or
point.
16,000.
You get that point no matter what. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
It's not Price is Right rules, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. So it's like if I said 1 to 1,000,000 and then it was within Simon's range, he would get 3 points and I would get 1 point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I just think Simon's wrong, so I'm gonna guess 1 to 1,000,000 and get my 1 point.
1 to 1,000,000. Well, we got some guesses here in the chat. We got 25,000 feet from Dustin. He said 25,000 to 30,000. Kevin Tompkins he said 500.000 feet, whatever that means. And Trenton said 5,000 to 6,000. The actual answer, the deepest point on Earth is 36,070 feet.
That's
below
so
sea level.
deep, bro. That's crazy deep. So that's like, dude, that's like almost 8 miles.
That's absurd. So Coop's going to get a point and I'm going to get nothing. But I get it. I was a little too specific. I think maybe I was thinking of the height of Everest, maybe. Is that in that range? I was thinking the highest instead of the lowest.
Maybe.
Yeah. So now, had I guessed 16,001 to
Oh, no, not at
40
all.
to 40,000, I still would have gotten 1 point.
16,001 to 40,000? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we need to introduce like a limit on the range. I don't know how to do that.
1 to 1,000,000 is cheating, and that's annoying.
We'll figure that one out, but that's all right. We'll go on to our next one here. Coop, you're going to get a point for that one.
Great job, Coop.
Well done. Well done. And Dustin, I think, was the closest in the chat here with 25,000 to 30,000 feet, but still outside of the range.
Right. Yeah. That's so deep, though, dude. Like, that's like the Empire State Building. How tall is that? Like, that's like 50 of them.
It's deeper than if you took Mount Everest and turned it upside down. There's more. There's another 16,000 feet on top of it.
Dang.
What?
So if you take Mount Everest at sea level, flip it on its base, point it straight down, it doesn't reach the bottom of that.
That is horrifying.
Wild.
Wow.
Would you rather be down there or be in outer space?
Outer
In
space.
the proper vessels, of course.
Outer space.
Outer space.
I
think so too.
I think
If it's
there's nothing out there. I think there's something down there.
If you're
There's
going to be,
scary
I will say, if you're going to be in
There's
horribly,
nothing out there.
I mean, not that I'm gonna find. It's so spread
Okay.
out. Like down there in
Right.
the ocean, like there's some scary ass fish down there. I'm not running into a scary ass fish in space.
that's true.
Okay,
And if you're
I see
going to
what
be,
you're saying.
and if you're going to be put into a horribly claustrophobic situation, you're going to be in the one, want to be in the one where you're going to get more chicks, right? Like, so like being an astronaut, like if you go to the bar and you're like, oh, I went to the bottom of the deepest part of the ocean, and
They're like,
chicks are
shut up, James Cameron.
Chicks are like, how deep is that? Like 100 feet. And you're like, well, then you got to explain, well, if you turn it off for it's upside down. But if you just say you're an astronaut, boom, done, in, smoked. So
And then they'll be like, sorry, I don't date guys from Ohio.
yeah, there are a lot of astronauts from Ohio and presidents, right?
They're all from Ohio. All the astronauts. It's something absurd. Like
That's actually not, I know this one offhand. That's actually not the state where the most astronauts have come from, though.
what?
Swear to God, it's changed in recent years. It's now in New York.
Yeah, right.
Goog it. Hit it with
I'm-
ask Jeeves, bro.
I'm googling nothing.
Jeeves it. You won't.
All right, guys. Let's get into our next one here. Coop, you got a point for that one. The next prompt, Simon, you were going second on this one. Coop, you're going first. Here's your prompt. The fastest land animal is the cheetah, which can reach speeds of up to blank miles per hour.
I got a real good guess on this one.
Cheetah can reach speeds of blank miles per hour. Okay. I want to say they can reach speeds of 40 to 50 miles an hour.
40 to 50?
Yep.
40 to 50 is what Coop said. Simon, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I'm going to go a little bit smaller than him, and I'm going to say 80 to 89 miles per hour. I'm pretty sure cheetahs are hella
Yeah,
fast.
that's screaming, bro.
80 to 89. We got some guesses here in the chat. Trenton with 55 to 60. Craig with 82. Chungus with 75. Tim with 65. Dustin with 60 to 85 miles an hour. And Nick with 60 miles an hour. Remember, you have a range here if you want to see if you're going to get points. If you play along with us in the chat. Simon, you said 80 to 89. Coop, you said 40 to 50 miles an hour as the speeds of which the cheetah can reach. The answer is 75 miles an hour.
Oh,
man,
Simon, you
that
were
is
just outside the
so
range.
fast.
So
I
nobody's
really
gonna get
thought
points.
I really thought they hit 80. I thought that was like a fact that I knew that they hit 80.
Very
Damn.
close. Very close. So nobody's going to get points for that one, but that was good. I like that. It was good.
We got to think about how we're going to handle this range thing. So you can't just say 1 to a million every time. I'm thinking maybe if your range ends up being double the number, then
We can
it shouldn't
ideate
count.
on it. For
Yeah,
now, just don't
we'll
be a
think about it.
jackass.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I've been a jackass once, which I am winning. But I mean,
He said, I got
Hey.
my point. I won't be a jackass anymore.
you know what's kind of a jackass move? Taking a knee. But every team does it.
You're right.
All right. Let's get into our next one here. Coop, you're going second on this one. I don't know why I keep doing that. Simon, you're going first on this one.
Hard to track.
Here's the prompt. Jerick McKinnon had blank targets in the 2022 season.
I can't remember the number. I felt more confident about how fast the cheetah could run, and we saw how that went. Let's say so many a game, multiply by that, carry the 3, divide by
So
7,
many game.
5.
Got to divide by 7. Carry the
5
1.
times. Shoot, I forgot the math. I'm going to say, I'm not feeling very confident. I'm going to say between 42 and 65.
42 and 65.
Yeah. That's the range I'm giving.
I'm going to say between 43 and 64.
43 and 64.
Stinker.
We're really exploring the rules of this game right now.
Well, I just how we fix it,
Okay.
but I am hesitant to implement that until our next. At least we go through the next prompt so that each of you gets one of each. But I think I have a solution here. If you guys have something to write down with,
I do.
so we'll do it that way. Instead of going turn order, we'll just write down your range.
Oh, that's a good point.
But for the next two, for this one and the next one, we're gonna go with turn order. To be fair, Simon, you guess 42 to 65. Coop, you guess 43 to 64 as the number of targets Jerick McKinnon had this season. Trenton said 50 to 75 in the chat. Dustin said 70 to 80. Craig said 40 to 60. Some good guesses here. The answer, Jerick McKinnon had 71 targets.
Wow.
This season.
Simon, you
So
tricked
Trenton
me with your bad
nailed
guess.
it. Dustin,
Nice
nailed
job, guys.
it. Points.
So
And who's getting the 3 points on this one? It's
Chad is beating us.
I
Dustin.
think it's Dustin. He got 10. Yeah.
Shout out, Dustin. Nice job.
Yeah, 3 metaphorical points for you, my friend. But neither of you guys are going to get points because you're both too low.
Because we're stinky idiots.
Because you're stinky.
Machine gun smellies.
Machine gun
Machine
smelly.
gun smellies. Actually, we're just going to start. We're gonna switch to the new model here, the new mechanics in this
Cool.
next prompt.
How's that?
Simon, well, you guys are gonna write down your ranges instead of giving them a turn order.
Oh, okay.
So your next prompt here, nobody got points in the last one except for Dustin and Trenton. This one, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, the betting odds on the Jacksonville Jaguars to win the Super Bowl outright are blank. According to the FanDuel Sportsbook, the betting odds on the Jacksonville Jaguars to win the Super Bowl outright are blank. You're giving me a number range.
No, that's wrong. I'm a stupid idiot. Let's see.
Dum, 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 dum.
Okay, I think I got this, JL. Okay. I got it for sure. Without a doubt, this is the correct answer.
You got it?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and reveal.
Oh, actually, this is so wrong.
Mine's this
Let's
one.
see. 1,500 to 2,000 plus 1,500 to plus 2,000 and you guys both did
We
that.
put the
both
exact
did the
same
same.
thing on the first blind one.
So that is fine. You will share the reward if it is in the range.
Teamwork.
You both get 3 points.
Jeez, Dustin does not believe in the Jaguars. Plus 5,000, plus 6,000. My good God.
Plus 5,000, plus 6,000.
I'd sprinkle money on that for sure.
Trenton said 1 in 20, 2, 1 in 40. I don't know what that means.
Like the odds, it's just not the way betting odds are written, but it's how odds are written.
It translates the same way.
Oh, I see. Okay. I read it just so weird, so wrong.
Yeah, as you're reading, I was like, what? What? How are you enunciating those words together?
It's not working there. All right. The answer to this one, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, the betting odds on the Jacksonville Jaguars to win the Super Bowl outright are plus 3,300.
Damn, we were low.
Plus
Wow, really?
3,300. Yep.
I guess they're playing the Chiefs, so.
And then potentially the Bills, like Dustin said, or Cincinnati in that next round. It's a tough path. But with only 8 teams left and pulling off that big win,
So-
I thought maybe it'd be a little bit higher.
So technically, Trenton was right with his range because plus 1 in 20 is plus 2,000 and 1 in 40 is plus 4,000. So he was at, and it was 3,300. So Trenton did get it right.
So Trenton gets a point.
Nice job, Trenton.
Trenton. Attaboy, dude.
Yep.
There you go.
Dustin asking, are they the worst odds? Yes, they are.
Because they play the Chiefs.
Is that true? Yeah, I think it is. I'll double check it, but I'm pretty sure.
Even worse. Yeah, I guess even worse than the Giants, right?
They got an in-division game against the Eagles.
Yep.
And then
Giants are plus 2,500. So they are the worst by quite a bit. The Jaguars.
No one
Giants
believing
are?
in the
So
Jaguars.
the Jaguars are
I
the worst
heard
by quite a
you.
bit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and no other besides those two, Everyone else is under 1,000.
Yeah. Oh, I'm to win the Super Bowl. That's a lot. That's a lot. I kind of want to, but I feel like the Giants. I feel like Giants are in a similar tier, though. I don't know that I would put them way like the Jaguars way below.
Yeah, they're probably
Maybe.
not winning the bowl.
The bowl.
Probably not.
The bowl. That, as we call it when we're busy. We don't have time for those 2 extra syllables.
Well, this game is low scoring. Coop, you are still up by 1 point here. Simon, no points.
Watch out.
All right, this next one. The number of days since October 20th, 2017 is blank.
The number of days. Okay, so
you are giving us a number range. The number of days since October 20th, 2017 is blank.
Oh, I got to do this math, JL.
Math. I'm Simon. I don't like math.
There should be a time limit on this.
6.
You guys ready? All right. I need an answer.
I'm ready. 1 second. Let me write this down. I'm going to go with
pencils up.
I got to finish writing it.
I'm ready. You're doing math over there. Are you writing out math?
It. Yeah, I wrote out math, but then I circled my answer.
Oh, writing out math is 100% cheating. You have to do it in your head.
1915 to 1930. Is that correct?
That's what I got.
And Coop, you said 1300 to what is that?
1800 to 1900. But I just did mine quickly, just in my head, because I didn't feel like doing. I didn't know we could actually cheat and use calculators or pens or whatever.
I didn't do full ass math. It's still an approximation. Or I would have written one number.
Kids doing ass math over here.
Doing ass math.
And Dustin said, "Why did Simon go so narrow a range?" Because this was one I figured
was he cheated, Dustin. Because he cheated.
Jesus Christ, Coop. Could you relax for a second? I cheated. That's why, Dustin. Coop got it.
He didn't cheat. We never said you couldn't use pen and paper. In fact, pen and paper is part of the game.
No,
it is.
This one I figured could be guessed very specifically, and you get more points if you have the smaller range. So predicting Coop to try to go very specific, I tried to go even more specific.
Well, we got some guesses here in the chat. 1900 to 2000 from Craig, 1850 to 2000 from Dustin, and Trenton said 1200 to 1400. All good guesses. The actual answer, number of days since October 20th, 2017, is 1726.
Oh, wow. I must have added an extra year in there.
That's correct.
I believe so.
Either I'm very bad at math or I added an extra year. One of the two going on there because I was off by a lot.
What was the significance of that date?
There is no. It was just a random date. That was far enough away that I thought it would be hard to guess.
It was. Although when I use this date calculator, online date calculator, and type in October 22nd, 2017.
That's not right because 5 years, that's more than 5 years ago.
Yeah,
and
you're
5
right.
years is over 1,800 days.
It gives me 1,000.
I think the calculation is correct. Or is incorrect.
It gives me 1,913, which would be within Simon's range.
No, it would be outside by 2.
I got 1915, according to Wolfram Alpha.
When I go on time and date calculator and type in 10/22/2017, 1/17/2023, and
well, that's your problem because it's 10/17, not 10/22.
Oh, it's 10/22.
Oh, it's 10/20. 2017. 10/20 2017. God, weird.
1915. Yeah,
1915, I believe is the right one. So allow me to amend here. Coop, you are outside of the range. So you need 0 points. Simon, you are correct. You are inside the range, which is going to give you 3 points.
Boom.
Bringing you back into this game.
Good job.
Bringing you back into this game. Well done.
Dustin said 1915.
Craig and Dustin both had correct ranges here. I think the smallest between, let's see, Simon, you guessed 15. So that was, you got the small. Out of everybody, nobody's beating that.
My math brought me to 1925, my estimation math. So I just added a little bit of a buffer around it.
A little juice.
A little juice.
Well done. Well done. Trenton said Deflategate 2020.
It deflated that numbers. Where did that deflation come from?
All right, let's get into our last one here. Simon, you are ahead 3-1 against Coop here. Your last prompt is the New York Giants had blank passing touchdowns in 2022. Please write down your range.
Blank passing touchdowns.
Got your ranges?
Yeah, I got it.
I have to rewrite mine so that it's legible. There we go. Where is it? I can't even find it.
Simon 34-39. Coop with 25-30.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little high on mine. I think I just got too much like Giants hype in me after watching them win that game this weekend. And now I'm using revisionist history to see how many touchdowns they threw.
Well, we got some guesses here in the chat. Trenton with 6-10, Dustin with 15-17, Albert with 12-18, Nick in here with 10-14. And 14.
The chat's probably right because it was really rushing touchdowns that made him a.
You're right.
QB1.
Oh man, I'm an idiot. I got in my own head.
Chat is very low compared to you guys. Simon, you said 34-39. Coop, you said 25-30.
Yeah,
like a ding-a-ling.
The actual number of passing touchdowns the New York Giants had this season was 17.
Wow, that's not a lot.
17,
yeah,
which means Dustin is going to get the 3 points on this one, but Albert's going to get a point.
Daniel Jones isn't even good, dude.
Dustin said sell high on Daniel Jones. I think I've been buying into the Dable's a miracle worker. Daniel Jones is the future. And I feel like that's all the narratives we've been hearing recently. And it biased me. I let it bias me. I let it affect my recognition of what happened this season.
It's understandable, Simon. It's understandable. And the tricky part is that this Giants offense, while they've done so well, they've done it through a weird path.
They have done it through a very weird path.
Well, that's it. That's our first game of Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Simon, we're going to pull out the victory here, the dub.
That makes you the Texas Ranger.
Walker, Texas Rangers. That's me. Here's Simon, Texas Rangers. And guys, coming up, we're going to answer some questions from Reddit. We're going to do our best to answer them for you and for the people on Reddit. Right now, you're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Sports Network. Collectible moments.
Everybody up here at U.S. Cellular. Sox 5 runs, 6 hits. The 2-1 to Bartlett. Swing shot to short. Ramirez has it, throws. Bartlett picks a perfect game. His second no-hitter. People going crazy here at U.S. Cellular. He's smiled by his teammates. A perfecto.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right up, 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the impounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left.
Out of the I formation on first down. Peterson the carry, looking for running room on the right side, has it to the 25, across the 30, across the 35, and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Adrian Peterson has just gone over 2,000 yards for the season, the 7th man in NFL history to cross the 2,000-yard mark.
Well, a thundering ovation for number 66, Mario Lemieux.
Just the emotion I'm sure Mario is feeling in this place. You don't appreciate something until it's gone, and it's so great to have Mario back.
Yager turns around. Over to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux, his first goal in his comeback here tonight at the Mellon Arena. And the Penguins lead 3-0, and he is smiling like a butcher's dog. Mario Lemieux.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. The Bears have scored, but the Bands are out on the field.
Pearson moves in front of the STP Dodge. Petty comes back to the inside. They almost touch as they move down low in the bank, and you're going to be side by side as they exit the bank and head for the finish line.
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall. Petty is sliding.
slamming into the wall. He's coming down toward the finish line. Will he make it? Pearson is still running. The winner is car number 21. An amazing finish. Richard Petty's car demolished in the front end, as well as car number 21. An unbelievable finish, a terrible crash. David Pearson has won the Daytona 500. Leitner catches, comes down, dribbles, shoots, scores! Christian Leitner has hit the bucket at the buzzer! Pitched by Downing, swinging. There's a drive into left-handed field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
The most valuable player is Magic Johnson. 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a world championship 123-107 over Philadelphia.
Whether you collect sports memorabilia, fantasy championships, or winning bet slips, talk about it on Better Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. It is January 17th, 2023. Wildcard weekend is over, which means the divisional round is starting this weekend. I'm hoping divisional round lives up to what we experienced in wildcard weekend, because this has been an absolutely hype playoffs before so far.
So fun to watch.
I got sneaking in a little news for your Cleveland Browns, Simon. Just saw this.
They got some moves they got to make, so I'm curious if this is a move. They're $9 million over their cap right now, if I remember correctly.
This one won't affect the cap.
Okay.
Just came across the Twitter sphere. This is from Diana Rossini over at ESPN. She says that the Cleveland Browns have been interviewing defensive coordinators. They've interviewed Sean Desai, Denard Wilson, Brian Flores, but they have decided on someone. They plan to hire Jim Schwartz as their defensive coordinator. So Jim Schwartz, yes, was the quarterback. He was not the quarterback. He was the coach for the head coach for the Detroit Lions a few years back. And then most recently, he was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. So he's been out of the league for a couple of years, but the Browns are going to bring in Jim Schwartz. How do we feel about that, boys?
Seems like a decent hire.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Seems like a decent hire. I'm not like jumping through the roof like, oh, this fixes everything, but I'm happy with the hire. It makes sense. He's got a proven track record. Maybe stepping back. It's what you talk about a lot whenever you talk about these head coaches that maybe would be better fit as a coordinator. Like, here's Jim Schwartz. He tried the head coach thing. It didn't work out, clearly. And now he's going back to where he found real success, like high-level success as a defensive coordinator. I love seeing moves like that.
Would you have preferred Brian Flores?
Same kind of thing, I feel like. I think it would have been a similar level of hire for me, a similar level of excitement, where it's another coach where I've seen with a proven track record as a coordinator, right? Someone who's killed it. And they come in, maybe didn't work as well as a head coach. But that being said, there was even all sorts of other stuff surrounding Brian Flores not working as a head coach that maybe he'd be better fit. So similar level. I think maybe slightly would have preferred Flores, but I'm happy with Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, I think Flores is a solid coach. I don't even know that he was a terrible head coach. He put together the pieces of that Dolphins team, made a lot of good moves. It didn't quite pan out all the way that he wanted, but also I talked about this a lot going into this season or towards the end of last season, that it just felt like Tua had gotten a string of bad luck, where it was like 2 or 3 things kind of happened in succession, and then he got labeled as a bust because of that, and people were out on him. But it very much felt like things that were out of his control, such as like injury or situation. I don't know that we can put this all on Brian Flores. I think he would have been a potential great hire.
Yeah, I 100% agree that there was a lot that was out of his control, and I'm with Simon on this, where it really depends how risk averse you are. Right, there's a scale here. Like, I'll give example of, on one end, on the safe side, you have Jim Schwartz, proven track record, been the defensive coordinator for multiple teams, been a head coach. Then towards the middle, you probably have like Brian Flores, where, okay, things didn't work out for him. He's got a good track record, coached with Bill Belichick, coached with Mike Tomlin, so got a lot of good experience there. But the thing with some of these guys that, sometimes even when you're right, you can be a little abrasive. You know what I mean? where even if Brian Flores is right here, he did rub a lot of people the wrong way with how he went about things, going to the league, filing the lawsuit. And you are taking a bit of a risk bringing a guy like that. And then at the far end of the scale, you could just hire somebody that's never been an offensive coordinator, like Simon brings up. Like, for instance,
Simon's never been
I've never been an offensive
if you bring in Simon,
or a defensive coordinator.
Or a defense coordinator either, right? So it's risky. Like, Simon, would you rather have Jim Schwartz or would you rather have like Gerard Mayo, who there's been a lot of rumors about him getting a big time coaching job, but he never really has had the title?
That's close because I feel like the upside. Give me Schwartz. Schwartz has won a Super Bowl with his defense, right? That's where I'm going right there.
I think with this team and the way it's built and how you kind of have all the pieces, you can go conservative. If you're like if you're like the Texans, you might as well go big.
They should hire Mayo. Yeah.
Go crazy. Yeah. Go for the crazy upside play. At that point, you can always fire him, right? But like if you bring in a risky guy to a team like the Texans, the Browns, when you're like win now, then you too much risk of screwing it up. So I'm with you on that. I like the conservative hire for this one. Why not?
Well, the other thing I do like here, and this might sound like a minor thing, but something that gets in the way in coaching rooms a lot of times is ego. Like a lot of these coaches, they have to have an ego. That's the biggest detriment we heard of Jim Harbaugh when he was in the NFL, right? Like, who was it? Was it the GM that walked in the room and he said this meeting's for men only and told him to leave? Like, these people have an ego and they rub each other the wrong way if they think they're doing things the right way. To be able to be an NFL head coach and then say, you know what? That was too much for me. I'm going to step back down and be a coordinator. Shows at least some awareness, right? It shows a willingness to put that ego to the side a little bit to come in and do a role that you think you're best suited for. So I like that from just a coaching structure standpoint for the team. A former head coach who's willing to step down into a coordinator role.
Yeah, I get that.
Kevin said a good coordinator is a good coordinator, but a mystery box could be anything. It could even be a good coordinator. Who knows? It could be anything.
Could be anything.
Also, something I don't think we talked about it quite enough on the show. I'm not even sure if we brought it up. The reports that Cliff Kingsbury just took a one-way trip to Thailand. Did we bring that up?
Oh, yes. I meant to talk about that.
Cliff Kingsbury, after getting fired, just buys a one-way ticket to Thailand and says, yeah, I'm out. I'm done. And when he did that, I was talking to my girlfriend about it. I'm just sitting here wondering, why don't we see this more often? Why don't we see these coaches who make unbelievable amounts of money, enough money to last the rest of your life, just not? Know what I mean? They always get another job. But Cliff's like, nah, I'm one-way ticket to Thailand. I'm out of here. Like, that's the move. Why did Matt Rule go get a college job when the Panthers are still going to pay him $60 million? He should have just bought a one-way ticket to Portugal and lived there for 10 years or whatever the hell he wanted to do.
Right. It's just a funny move. Bought a one-way ticket to Thailand. What does that mean?
I bet he got a $350 backpack as well. And the dude's just going to spend, we're going to start seeing pictures of Cliff like throughout Southeast Asia. He's just backpacking through Asia.
Something tells me
just sitting there busting ass. Cliff Kingsbury's like, oh God.
Something tells me Cliff Kingsbury has a more expensive backpack than that.
More than three. I don't know. How expensive do backpacks get?
I mean, if you take it seriously, like me and Scott Fish, 350 is kind of a drop in the bucket.
You're right. And Dame said the emphasis on the one-way ticket cracks me up because he could buy a return ticket tomorrow. Yeah.
Right.
It could be one way and he's coming back the next day, but he's not putting a time limit on it. If I got fired as an NFL head coach with that level of buyout, that's exactly what I would do. Like, just leave for a little bit. You got all the money. You don't have to, like, you just got relieved of your biggest stressor. Like, your number one biggest stressor probably just relieved from you. You still get all the money from it. And you can just go do whatever you want. You don't have to get another job. That's the move right there. I'm on Cliff's side here. Everyone was sitting there like, what the hell is he doing? And I'm like,
I'm like, oh, I know what he's doing.
Just taking a break, man. He's just taking a break. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
It seems crazy though. Like, wait, isn't Cliff, is he married or he just has a girlfriend?
He's a bachelor, right? Isn't he like the bachelor head coach?
Singular, yeah.
Oh, I thought he had like
football is his mistress.
That's pretty cool then. Yeah. Have fun.
And Trenton in here with the real answer. Maybe he hasn't decided where he's going next. I think you're right. He's Thailand's not his final destination. He's just traveling around. Or we get the best episode of House Hunters International ever, where Cliff Kingsbury goes and buys it. I would be so happy. That's like my two favorite things smushed together. House Hunters International and the NFL. Put them into one. I'd be so happy.
Oh my God.
Sign me up.
I've been fidgeting with.
I'm surprised you don't like Hard Knocks as much as you should, Simon. I think you would really enjoy it. How much you love reality television and the NFL.
I think I would love it. I think I would love it. I just haven't really. If we're being honest, here's what prevented me most of the time. I haven't had access to HBO for most of the time that it's been around, but I do now. I have no excuse. I have HBO.
So now you got to watch it.
It's on my TV. I'm logged into my account that I pay for. If you're listening to HBO, it is not somebody else's account that they pay for. We do not share HBO accounts.
You would never.
Nothing to see here, and it definitely says my name on the statement. Also, Patton, you said 100% in on NFL House Hunters. God, that would be the best if they could upgrade that show. That show's absurd, though, too, because there's like 190 seasons. Each season has like 20 plus episodes in it. They just crank them out nonstop all the time.
I don't know if I would want to be on one of those shows. I mean, I know I would. If they asked me, I would 100% be on the show, but it just seems sometimes it seems so fake. Like I'm going to pick my house with that's a lot of pressure.
Oh, it is fake.
Oh, it's so fake. The house is already picked beforehand, without a doubt.
Well, good.
But it's fun to do it. It's probably fun to go through the process. And Kevin, and you're saying, I'm a part-time frozen yogurt chef, and he's a USFL long snapper. Our budget is $27 million. Yeah, there's two different routes they go. There's that route, and then there's also there's the complete opposite route where they're like, we need 7 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a yard where our 12 dogs can play, an indoor basketball court, 17 swimming pools, a tennis court, and a private studio for my painting. Our budget is $500 a month.
And we have to live in downtown Manhattan.
Exactly. They'll be like, and it must be no more than 2 minutes walking from my work at the Empire State Building.
It's like, we have one property that might fit that. It's Central Park.
Just camp out over there. And Kevin, the biggest thing, open floor plan. Especially like these dudes will go to Europe and they'll be like, I need an open floor. And they're like, stop it. You're not getting an open floor plan. And some of the real estate agents will just yell at them and be like, this is Amsterdam. It's not happening. And then some of them will be like, oh, I'll do my best. And they show them a house like 4 hours out of town.
It's so funny because we just did that. Like we just took down my kitchen wall to make the door was a normal door. And now it's just like this wide now. It's very
open
expensive.
Floor plan.
Open floor. So open.
Very expensive, dude.
Massive.
House hunters.
International. There's both. Yeah. Both are good, but the international one adds that little extra fun right there.
Little extra.
A buddy of mine was a cameraman for one of those shows, and he was talking about how just ridiculously fake it is.
Get him on the show.
Get him on.
We should. I'll reach out to him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I'll definitely reach out to him.
We got to get him on there. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. We're going to be back tomorrow morning and every morning, Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time for the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Stick around here on BSN for more content all day. We've got Moose and Keith coming up next, followed by Lunch Money presented by Fantasy Guru. And then Corey Nando and friends, if you want to ask your tough fantasy questions or listen to Corey tell you why Babe Ruth isn't real. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Thanks again to everybody. Episode 101 in the books. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Adios, everyone.
Bye-bye.